All right, let's call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Madam Clerk with the roll, please.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Here.
Councilmember Capaldi.
Here.
Councilmember Hul.
Here.
Councilmember Ionati.
Here.
Vice President Brown.
Here.
President Verducci.
Here, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the unlikely event of an emergency, you can go back out the doors you came in. If that is blocked, you can go back out here. The doors marked exit will lead you to the exit in back. All right, got a lot of folks in here tonight, so we're going to entertain a motion to take this agenda out of order so we can be a little bit more expedient with some of the folks.
Make a motion to take the agenda out of order.
A second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We want to start off with some minutes. All right, we're going to go on to item 2, meeting minutes. We've got a few sets of minutes tonight, 5-6, 5-12, and 6-9 council minutes. We have May 28th, 2026 executive session minutes.
Make a motion, we take them as a block. Second.
Motion and a second to take the open session meeting minutes, or can we do all minutes? Yeah, we got to do the open session meeting minutes as a block? Yeah. We okay. Yep. Thank you, sir. We have a motion and a second to take the open session meeting minutes as a block. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion
Abstain.
carries. All right, now on the minutes themselves, anybody have anything they want to add, edit, or contribute to those? If not, I'll entertain a motion to move the minutes.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We are past the minutes. We are now on executive session meeting minutes, May 28th, 2026. Any comments or edits? No? All right. Seeing none.
I'll make a motion to approve April 14th, May 12th, and May 28th executive session minutes.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? You good?
Abstain.
Okay. Gotcha. Right. Councilwoman Capaldi abstains on the executive session meeting minutes. And the rest, do we need a roll call, please? Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yeah.
Councilmember Capaldi.
Abstain.
Councilmember Hul.
Yes.
Councilmember Ionati.
Yes.
Vice President Brown.
Yes.
President Verducci.
Yes.
So we have 5 in the affirmative and 1 abstention. Motion passes.
All right. That concludes item 2. All right. Item 3, let's move on to public acknowledgements and commendations. Item A, we will delay until a little bit later to build the drama. Item B, we have a recognition here. I don't know if we saw Mr. McGee. We know if he's coming? Oh, he is? Oh, come on up, sir. Yes, please bring Mike with you too. Do we have a walking mic? What do we got? All right. This right here is a certificate of special recognition. This comes to us from Governor McKee. And what we have here is a celebration of the 2026 National Public Works Week. And the governor wanted to extend his honor for the invaluable contributions of the public work professionals in town. Special recognition and gratitude extended to DPW Director Kevin McGee for your outstanding leadership, dedication, and service. Under your guidance, the continued efforts to enhance our community's infrastructure, water systems, and public facilities ensure a high quality of life, sustainability, and resilience for all residents. This citation also honors the engineers, leaders, and staff at all levels whose hard work goes above and beyond to support the public interest of Coventry. Thank you for your exceptional commitment to excellence and for serving our community with distinction. You have our sincere wishes for continued success from Governor McKee. Congratulations, gentlemen. All right. Next up, let's keep it rolling. Mr. Ron Flynn. Come on down. So for anybody here that doesn't know Ron Flynn, he's been around in this room quite a bit for many years, doing a lot of things for the town. So we're recognizing him tonight with this proclamation. Town of Coventry recognizes Ron Flynn for his decades of service to town government and its citizens in a multitude of capacities in his public service career, which began in 2004 with his appointment to the Personnel Board. After that term, he was then appointed to the Planning Commission in 2007 and remained on the commission for an astounding 20 years, serving as the chairman the last 7 years before retiring from the commission in 2026. With his strong devotion to family, including his wife, daughter, and new granddaughter, he left the commission in the town in a great position to grow and prosper. Just when we thought his service to our community had ended, he was appointed earlier this month to the Charter Review Committee to take on the necessary changes we need to move forward decades after its inception in 1972. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, John Paul Verducci, Town Council President, confirms that the Coventry Town Council recognizes and thanks Ron Flynn for his dedicated years of service to the town of Coventry. Congratulations and thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, pleasure of the council. Where do we want to hear next?
I think we should do public comment on docketed items.
We have a vote for public comment on docketed items. Let's move over there. So we are on item 1 on the agenda. If anyone in here would like to get up and speak, come on down.
Richard Williams from 2980 Flat River Road. I just have a question about the police cruiser. Why are there tinted windows? And personal cars can't have them. Why? That's all I want to know. If there's an emergency and you go to a car with tinted windows, you're being chased by somebody, you think there's a police officer in there and there's no one in there, you don't know because it's tinted windows. I just want to know why they're tinted windows.
Well, this is actually docketed items. That one's not on docketed tonight, but if you want,
Oh, I
might
thought
be
it was
able to see the
docketed.
chief
That's
in the
what we're
back of
talking
the room here. He could probably tell we've got a chief is right back there if you want to speak to him while we.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I thought it was undocumented.
Yeah, not tonight. Undocketed we'll do later on.
Oh, it's
And
not
that's the, that's the open.
Document. Okay.
Thank you, chief. Yeah. All right, we are on docketed items tonight. Good evening.
Hi, Brittany Boyer, 318 Town Farm Road. I'm here tonight to speak about the farm stand item on the agenda, but more importantly about what I believe this issue represents for Coventry. As many of you know, my family operates a small farm here in town. Recently, after an anonymous complaint was made, the Rhode Island Department of Health barred the sale of eggs from my farm stand. What has been particularly frustrating is that selling eggs is not unusual in Coventry, yet I was the only one who was reported, investigated, and told that I could no longer do it. Given the timing and circumstances, it seems I was singled out, but something much bigger has come from what happened. I shared my experience publicly and the response has been overwhelming. As of today, 248,640 people have viewed, commented on, and or shared this issue on social media. And out of all of that attention, I have not come across one negative remark about allowing small farms to sell their eggs from their own farm stands. Anyone who has spent 5 minutes on social media knows how exceptional it is for two people to agree on something, let alone that many thousands of people. This isn't just about me, though, and this isn't just about my farm stand. Farm stands are part of our agricultural heritage. They allow small farmers and homesteaders to sell or give what they produce directly to their neighbors. They keep money in our local economy. They give residents access to fresh, locally produced food. They teach our children where their food actually comes from, and they help keep small-scale agriculture alive in communities that are becoming increasingly developed. At a time when the cost of food continues to put pressure on families, government should be looking for reasonable ways to make local food more accessible, not creating unnecessary barriers between a farmer and their neighbor. I understand the town council does not control the Rhode Island Department of Health, and I understand that some of the changes needed here may have to happen at a state level. That's why I'm asking this council to do more than simply hear this issue tonight. I'm asking you to stand with Coventry's small farms and residents and formally ask that our state legislators help us. Ask them to review the laws and regulations surrounding small farms and egg sales. Ask them whether regulations designed for commercial food operations make sense when applied to a resident selling eggs from their own flock on their own property. If the law does not adequately protect this kind of small-scale agriculture, then let's ask our legislators to change that law. Coventry has a long agricultural history. We should be doing everything possible to preserve it. I don't want another farmer, homesteader, 4-H family, or resident to suddenly find themselves in the same position that I did. Before I finish, though, I want to personally thank the person who made that anonymous complaint. Whatever your reason was for making it, and even if there was some ill intent behind it, thank you, because look at the attention your complaint has brought to this issue. More than 248,000 people are now talking about something that probably would have never received this kind of attention otherwise. Let's take something that may have been intended to hurt someone and turn it into something positive. Let's make a positive change from this. Let's bring something positive out of this for Coventry, for our farmers, for our homesteaders, and for the people who believe they should have the freedom to buy local food directly from their neighbors. One anonymous complaint may have started this conversation, but that complaint doesn't get to decide how it ends. I am asking you to work with our legislators, advocate for sensible farm stand protections, and send a clear message that Coventry supports local agriculture, local food, and the residents who work really hard to produce it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Come on up. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Town Manager. I live at 153 Princeton Avenue. And in the 70s, I grew up in Providence. And I became a close friend of Buddy Cianci. And Buddy said the two most important things a mayor can do is to make sure the garbage is picked up and the snow is plowed. And I have to say, Mr. McGee has done an exceptional job at that. In his tenure as department director of Public Works. And that's a key role for all of you. Because if the snow isn't picked up like it was in Providence, this last snowstorm when the mayor was in San Diego, the residents get upset. The other issue that I want to bring to you, these are all compliments. The other one is Mr. Flynn, Ron Flynn. I worked with him. I had the pleasure to work with him on the Planning Commission until like 2011, and he was fantastic. You picked a great chair, and I'm sure he's going to do exceptional work on the Charter Review Commission. So you picked two great individuals this evening to recognize, and I thank you as a citizen of Coventry.
Thank you, Dave.
I know you too.
Thank you very much. All right. Anyone else in chambers on docketed? Hello, sir. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Our
Ian
pleasure.
Smith, 10 Remington Farm Drive. I want to talk about 9A, the field lights at Payne Field. I'm currently the president of the Coventry Girls Softball League. I'm also on the board of the Basketball League and the Little League. Those lights need to be changed, not just for Little League, but softball has been without lights for years. I'm not sure the exact date. This spring, we had 208 players from ages 4 to 18, 9 travel teams in the Rhode Island Crush program, which serves another 100 kids. The immediate impact of these lights would be better serving these kids with more practice opportunity in the spring, and especially in the fall when sun sets at 5 o'clock. And our season often runs until Halloween. So those last couple of weeks, we can barely practice. Game scheduling during the week can reduce some of the stress on families' weekends, where we are getting as many games in as possible. Rhode Island Crush hosts 5 to 6 tournaments a year. We bring out of towners to the community to play on our fields. We would be able to use Payne Field in a better fashion with lights and provide more teams opportunity to come to town, spend money in town, go out to dinner after their games, and play at night. Long-term benefits would be the community. I can't count the number of times growing up in Coventry when I was dropped off at Payne Field because everyone was there. And there were Little League games, the girls were playing softball, I could play basketball. Now there's the skate park. It was the center of our community, and being there actively for baseball and Little League, it's still a center of our town. It could be a greater center of our town with the light changes and the opportunities that would be afforded our girls softball league. Again, as a high schooler, I remember, with the growth of women's sports, I think this is really important. I remember being in high school and knowing that I had to get to Payne Field because there was a big battle between DeShantis Ice Cream and SCS, and all my friends were there. So we were there to support them in the mid-90s. And I imagine that support would be even greater now if we could host Friday night lights and games during the week. So reinstalling those lights, I realize that's a lot of money, but it's less than most of the new house sales in town. So I'd like that to be considered and approved. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well stated. Thanks for not telling everybody all those vicious dunks you used to throw down on me. Appreciate that. All right. Who's next? Good evening.
Good evening, Scott Guthrie, 31 Maplewood Drive. I wasn't going to get up and say anything tonight, but seeing that we're going to be using this podium as a political platform, maybe I should say my say on something too. I've been involved in politics for a long, long time, and I've seen everything. I've had my identity stolen. I've had my people falsely impersonate me. I've had everything done to me, not dissimilar to what Mrs. Boyer has done. I've also been accused of doing it, and I didn't. And one of the other things that I should add that some people do when they run campaigns is they can put complaints in about themselves. I've seen it, and
We got
I don't want-
docketed.
hang on one second. So I'll bring it home. So also we have a councilman that is walking on a fine line of libel suit. He is the one that is accusing me of doing this.
This is not, point of order, this is not docketed items. You have no proof. I never
You want me
said
to
your name.
Wait until undocketed.
No, I'd like
because
you
I'm
to
gonna speak
provide the
anyway.
name of where you say I accused you of
It
anything.
was on,
Where did I ever late your name anywhere?
Yeah, I think we got to.
I never did.
Hold on. All right, let's peel it back. Anything undocketed?
So
Save it for undocketed.
what, I'll say.
I don't know. Actually, where's the gavel?
I'll save it for undocketed.
All right. Anyone else in chambers before we go to Zoom? Come on up.
Hello, Steve Boskay, 8 Raven Boulevard in Coventry. And I had a question. First off, I want to make sure that this is, oh, I'll get the gavel out yet.
Thank you.
I want to make sure that I'm in the right protocol. Are the questions on the municipal fire district vote ballots part of docketed?
They are docketed. Are we going to have a separate public hearing for that? Are we going to? Yeah. I think if we do a separate public hearing, we can do questions and answers, whereas this may be more just one way. It's not.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm asking because it was part
Yeah.
of the party. It was also part of your docketed section, so.
The council can always take comments at that time, but if you want to hear them now, hear them.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a quick and a short one. I'm sure I'll have some other questions later on, but to start off, so you have to follow me a little bit on this. On the way that it was written in the agenda, you had a basic question about the ballot, then you have like 4 different versions of a ballot. Are those something that the council is discussing and looking at what one fits best? Like, I'm not sure how that part of it is, but if it is, mine pertains to the third version that was in that set, where basically it says that it's a transfer of the employees to the town, transfer to the town, the MERS contributing employees of the departments, where Western Coventry does not have MERS and does not have MERS, so they would be ineligible if that went through to be hired, or they would have to start from scratch, or they should be looking. So that was the basic question I have. I'm just going to leave it at that one topic because it was something that had been brought up to me and asked by people that have been working for quite a long time in the department. So,
Can I answer? Sure. So that is the intent tonight, is to review those. That's exactly the kind of feedback and stuff we want to get called out as part of our discussion. And I do believe we can amend while we're up here. So if that's something the council chooses to go in that direction, then we would want to make sure we incorporate
that
and
was my
edit
only
like
question.
that.
I just
Yeah,
wasn't sure
yeah.
of A, the format, how you're going. and
No,
B,
no, we get it.
that wording. It was kind of weird.
Nope, appreciate it. Thank you. Please come on up. Yeah. Good evening.
Lynn Carlson, 12 Old Mishnock Highway. I'm here representing the Land Trust.
Oh,
You have 2 items on your agenda tonight regarding the Land Trust. If I may, I'd like to read a statement. First, please let the record show that there appears to be a typographical error on the agenda for this resolution. We are seeking $55,000 and $50, not $50,000 and $50,050. So our budget that is included in your packet actually has the correct amount. This budget addresses years of deferred stewardship on Coventry Land Trust properties. This delay was not the result of any oversight by the Land Trust, but rather stemmed from a miscommunication in which the Land Trust was repeatedly and incorrectly informed over a period of several years that real estate conveyance tax funds specified for our use in the town charter could not be used for appraisals or any type of maintenance of our properties. As a result, the fund's current balance reflects this restriction, not a lack of need. Now that we have clarified that these restricted funds can be used not only for the actual purchase price of a property or conservation easement, but for all relevant costs associated with obtaining, protecting, and maintaining open space, we can begin to address these needs. The budget we have submitted is an itemized list of what we feel are the most pressing issues we need to address to protect and enhance the town's existing conservation investments. Because these funds already exist and are specifically earmarked for our use, there will be no impact on taxpayers other than to improve existing open spaces for their enjoyment. I'd also like to take this moment to address the other item on the agenda, which is to amend the town charter to reduce the land trust percentage from 50% to 10% of the real estate conveyance tax. The town charter specification that 50% of the real estate conveyance tax be allocated to the land trust for the preservation and maintenance of open space should not be amended. It is a surprise to the land trust that this amendment would even be considered, given the current level of development pressure on the town and the outcries we see on social media about this development pressure and the changing character of Coventry. The Land Trust is committed to strategically working to preserve additional land in Coventry to protect wildlife movement corridors and maintain the rural character of Western Coventry and increase residential lands for all Coventry citizens. The current ordinance providing funding for the Land Trust is the town's best opportunity for securing the character of the town for generations to come. Thank you for taking these comments into consideration.
Thank you. Thank you for the work you do. Thank you very much. Great. Anyone else in chambers? Come on down. I arm wrestle for it. That's all right. All right. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm not for or against this resolution 2026-77. That's the Star Resolution LLC. Just reading through, I'm seeing on table, there's a 350 unit building, one CO issued within 5 years. And then there's a clarification for 5 years for the first CO and then 12 years of relief. So is that benchmarking the potential of this 17 years? And then there's also a clause in there where you can do an extension. Why are we giving away so much relief when 90%, I'm taking this off social media, 90% of the tax burden is on the residential tax-paying residents? Why are we giving all this relief and leeway to these developers that are destroying our town? That's my opinion only. And then resolution 2026-77. I want to thank the council for suggesting the reimbursement of the traffic light at Hopkins Hill Road. And then after all, I think everybody realized that this traffic light was needed in order for that development. And I know you needed it for your fire trucks years ago, but you're going to get it. Yeah. Resolution 2026-74, the purchase of casting, tubings, and erosion control. I see all the items are listed where I think you wanted to clarify whether it was like linear feet or yards or pounds or whatever it was. I see all that clarified now, but there's no estimate of a total cost. And we see that whether it's the school department or the DPW, they're always going over budget. Is there any kind of control on a cap of how much they're going to spend or no? I mean, it's a docketed item.
There's budgetary controls in place, but for that particular item, yeah, we don't have a line item per se for that, but
So it's a blank check.
well, it's more of the
Oh,
authorization
you can
to.
just say yes.
I would never say yes to that. No, yeah, it would be something as needed, but when that topic comes up, we will
Okay.
ask the expert.
All right. I'll
But
see
yeah,
that.
no, we don't want to just,
Contractor does not have a separate line in the budget that we
Yeah.
utilize.
yeah, so it would fall under maybe a bigger category like supplies or, erosion control or whatever it is. And then the director would put in that request. That goes town manager, financial approval, somewhere along the line. If he was buying 2 miles worth of filter sock, I would certainly hope someone would say this is crazy.
That's my
But
point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Those controls are in
All right,
place.
I'll see you undocketed.
Okay. All right, who's next? Come on down, sir.
Mr. President, members of the council, I've appeared before you in the past regarding the ballot question for municipal fire. I've previously suggested that the documentation and the language wasn't ready for prime time. And based on what I've seen tonight with the proposed discussion points, My sense is that if nothing else, it's what you're seeing tonight is a clear indication that it's not ready. You've got a can of worms. Legal counsel has already discovered that there have been any number of errors and omissions over the years, things that have been forgotten, legislation that was passed but never really taken a hold of by the town. The people in Western Coventry, deserve the respect and the dignity that you owe them in terms of the time, the effort, and more importantly, the money that they have invested in the growth of the Western Coventry Fire District and the independence thereof and the nature of the services. I'm asking you tonight to consider tabling your discussions tonight and any action tonight until legal counsel and the town council can hold the necessary public meetings that are necessary to get the feedback from the communities that they serve and really get a good feedback as to what's going on rather than the special interest groups that are presently driving that train. So I thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, sorry. Come on up.
Steve Riley, 5 Osprey Drive in Coventry. First off, regarding Resolution 2026-81 that has to do with the lake management plan, I want to thank this council because at the last council meeting, you folks said you were going to take the initiative to make it happen. And lo and behold, we have an item here for consideration tonight. I also want to thank the town manager and the assistant town's manager for the effort that they put into this process, because this is above and beyond their normal overburdened work scope. So you have a letter before you. I sent that to you folks yesterday, and it basically, I want you to look at it as a grocery list of items that are problems on the pond, and I try and go into detail to explain why. And my reason for that is in the process of developing a draft lake management plan for the redevelopment agency's consideration and the town's, I have sought, looking online at different ESS Corporation, which became TRC, documents. So I have a fair knowledge of what goes into a lake management plan, and I have a good knowledge of the problems that exist on Johnson's Pond. My reason for putting this list together also has to do with having been involved in watching the redevelopment plan take shape, the contract that was issued, everything that went on with that, and most notably how in the 11th hour we had to revise the comprehensive plan to backfit requirements that should have been and were advised to the legal counsel of the redevelopment agency before the contract was signed with GZA. So going forward here for this proposal and a contract award, I would hope that you folks can work through the town manager and TRC to address those issues. And finally, I'd just like to say, related to that, I have one additional comment that I would like to add to that letter, and if I could hand deliver it to the clerk. And it relates to, it relates to water sampling, and in their TRC proposal, item 5, sampling, water sampling, they've omitted bacteria. And I'm not an expert, but I do, in having looked at Tioga Lake and some studies that were done by Fuss and O'Neill back in 2022, that was a issue, and it was related to their determinations of maybe contributions, obviously from nutrients, but septic systems, et cetera. So I want to thank you again, and I hope you'll consider using that as a template to work with TRC to come up with a effective contract that we can actually get out and this summer for Labor Day, actually get somebody on the water to start taking information. If I could just ask one other thing, is the public hearing for the redevelopment plan going to take place as part of the or as part of a separate item?
Separate item at a different meeting, I believe we're looking at. It's not on tonight. It'll be at our next meeting.
Okay, all right.
And
Thank you very much.
yeah, if we could, we'll get a motion to add your item into the record, just so we can accept what you gave the clerk.
Thank you.
Make a motion.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Anyone else in chambers? We'll come on up. Well, let's give everybody one shot first before we do seconds. Good evening. Should be green. Right?
Good evening. Samantha Sargent, 285 Log Bridge Road. Docketed items. I would like to say something about egg stands. And this is just for general knowledge. The RIDEM handles the sale of shell eggs in our state, not the Department of Health. Sorry to hear that's going on. Just over a year ago, I can remember, and I'm sure everybody does, when the prices of eggs skyrocketed and everybody turned to your neighborhood egg dealer. Everybody. Okay, I can't tell you how booming business was, and I'm sure everybody else in town with egg stands can say the same. So it's very disheartening to hear people targeting people for any reason to do anything with farming. It is hard. It doesn't matter what kind, it doesn't matter the amount, it is hard. There's a lot of investment that goes into it. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of mental and physical exhaustion that goes into it. It takes a lot. So if you have a problem, talk with your neighbors, extend the olive branch, go over, have a conversation. If you don't understand agriculture, they will gladly fill you in. I can't tell you how much I love to talk about chickens. I will talk to you all day long, and I will tell you anything you need to know and everything there is to know. Just have a conversation. Stop targeting people who are just trying to live. This town was built on agriculture. It is never left. It will never leave. With that said, I'm going to move on to the land trust. I think cutting from 50% to 10% is quite drastic. It is one of the only things that preserves land in this town, preserves wetlands, forests, open spaces. And with all of the development, we still need protection. Our wildlife needs protection. As you know, more and more bears are moving into territories. It's because males they need somewhere to go. We need places for our wildlife to live. We need something to preserve them. To cut that budget from 50% to 10% is incredibly drastic. Maybe 40 to 35% is a little more appropriate. I understand cuts have to be made anywhere we can, but the land trust is very important to this town and to the preservation of those areas. The municipal fire department. I'm just gonna say, I think there needs to be more of a clear plan set in place for voters before this goes on the ballot. There is a lot that it does not contain that it should. And without a clear-cut plan, people don't know exactly what they're voting for or voting against. People just think about the price tag attached and they say, well, no, that's too much. We just can't afford that. Well, I'm sorry, but what are your lives worth? what is everybody's life worth? What is our first responders' lives worth? Okay. So like get over the price tag of stuff, but give us a clear cut plan that gives the town the coverage that it needs. The plan needs to be revisited. And I know everybody worked extremely hard on it, and I know it was very long going. I followed it the entire way. But give people the proper information that they need to make an informed decision. Don't just throw it on the ballot and throw it at everybody when they don't necessarily know what's going on. People can't even find the information. Some people don't know what they're reading. So it just, I maybe make it a little more friendly for the everyday average person to understand and comprehend and follow along. Yeah. The tax stabilizations, I'm going to move on to that one next. Giving developers big tax breaks, it hurts us in the long run. More people need more services, including our fire and EMS services. That's more kids in schools. Our schools, we are just catching our breath on some serious issues in this town. Our pump station, the high school sewers. God, I can't even think at the moment, but there's so many things. The high school gym, the fire system, the middle school roof, our elementary schools, Western's bad well, which, yeah, it's in the planning stages, but why has it taken this many years to be addressed? We're talking about drinking water for an elementary school. Tax developers shouldn't be getting tax breaks. All of those shortfalls fall back on the residential taxpayer. There is no loyalty given to townspeople. Nobody who owns commercial and residential properties, they do not get tax breaks. There's nothing for anybody like that. And there are some people in this town that own multiple businesses and multiple properties, you know, and they get nothing given to them. But an outside developer comes in and he wants to put in some high density housing units in places where maybe they shouldn't be, next to a contaminated landfill is a good one. You just shouldn't be giving them tax breaks. I don't agree with that. Then you look at us and you say, well, we need tax increases. Well, how are we going to pay for the municipal fire department? How are we going to pay for this? How are we going to pay for Johnson's Pond? And then you're turning around and you're giving developers tax breaks for decades at a time. I mean, come on, like people can only take so much, you know, look at the price of everything. You know, the price of everything. You're killing people with taxes here. People are selling their homes faster than hotcakes and they are getting out of town, and that's sad. And these are people that have been here for generations. They've been here for a long time and they can't take it anymore and they're going elsewhere. And that's sad. That's really sad. Yeah, that's all I have for docketed items. You will see me for undocketed, though. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's go to Zoom real quick. All right, come on up.
1 minute.
If you're on Zoom and you want to make public comment, put your hand up and we'll get right to you.
Hey, Florio, 153 Princeton Avenue, Coventry, Rhode Island. You guys are in a very tough position because what's happening is that you're not good prognosticators. Nobody is. We can't tell the future, but we have a good feeling about it. We know the town's expanding. We know we need we know we need fire services. We know we need police services. We know we need a DPW. We know we need a school department, and we know things. People want to move here because of the quality of life. People may be selling houses, but as soon as they sell the houses, someone's right there to grab it and pay cash for it if they have to. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. And I would not want to be in your positions because you have to decide how fast growth is actually happening in Coventry. And that's why you have a town manager, and that's why you have a great attorney, and that's why you were all elected. Because it's going to take a great deal of work to see how much we need, to see how much we have to spend. How do we help kids? And the kids have issues. A lot of kids have autism. I saw it as a substitute teacher. And a lot of kids have mental disabilities. And they're coming here from other cities and towns, and they're bringing their baggage with them and the parents. So I'm just saying, You have a lot to decide. But I believe in all of you. I trust all of you, and I know you're all doing the right thing. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I see a hand up on Zoom. Elizabeth, please unmute yourself and name and address for the record, please.
38 Hill Farm Camp Road. And I'm speaking about the LMP Resolution 2681 and just want to support adding bacteria to the planned monitoring. Bacteria is essential for understanding whether a water body or an area within a water body is suitable for recreation. My understanding is that is hopefully one of the goals of the lake management plan is to encourage and provide additional access to the pond for recreation. Without bacterial information, that's really challenging. We need that information. It's also, if it's a resource question, I come from some expertise in water resources, so recognize that algae are incredibly variable. One of the components they're looking at or proposing to look at is algal identification and enumeration. That is a snapshot. In fact, all of their monitoring, as far as I can tell from reviewing the proposal, it will only provide a snapshot of conditions at the time of the monitoring. So a long-term plan for additional monitoring should be considered part of the lake management plan. In addition, I just want to support maintaining funds for the land trust. Water quality is a reflection of the watersheds, the land draining to our water bodies. Preserving and protecting land, quality land, forest, and open space is critical for water quality protection. And in the long run, will actually save the community money by protecting critical local resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Not seeing any more hands on Zoom. I think that'll do it for public comment on docketed items. Let's get some more folks up here and do our appointments, if that's the pleasure of the council. All right, we're on item 5, election or appointment. First, we have our new town council member to appoint. We're going to be a full council of 7 for at least the remainder of the night, and we appreciate that. So come on up. And Representative George Nardone is here to do the swearing in. Yeah, right here. To microphone.
So we can hear you.
Well, you have to raise his right hand or anything?
Yes.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you, Scott Fowley, solemnly swear that you will be true and faithful unto the state and support the laws and Constitution therefore, and the Constitution of the United States, and that you will and truly execute the office of Coventry Town Council Member for the term of which you have been elected, or until be engaged in your place, or until be legally discharged therefore, so help you God?
I do. All right, so we got that part out.
Got excited, sorry.
Yep. Now it's time to appoint him.
I'd like to make a motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. And we're off. All right. We got the 7. All right. Take pictures. All right. While we're all here, let's jump to item 5B, Town Council appointments. We have 2 openings still, Charter Review Committee. We've got 3 folks listed. I'll go in order here. Allison Albert, are you here tonight? All right. How about Brad Inman? or Andrew Pera? All right. Pleasure of the council. We want to keep rolling with this until someone is here, or do we, I don't know, did we get any letters or any recommendations on behalf of people or? Oh, we've got hands. Councilman Pasqua. I don't know. Okay. No whammies. All right. Councilwoman
I
Cafal.
just want to say, and I've said this,
Mic check.
I just want to say this, and I've said this several times before. If you, first of all, thank you for everyone that volunteers to be on our boards and our committees. That is amazing because it's hard and you guys are doing this as a volunteer. But if you want to volunteer, and we've had this on the agenda 2 times already, and you're not here, I don't really think that you want it. So I would say we pass on these. That's my 2 cents.
Mr. President, just so you know, Mr. Inman did reach out to us. He's currently traveling with his representative, so he did reach out to us.
Thank you. All right, so sounds like we don't necessarily want to make a move at this moment. All right. Good. All right. Do we need to table that? Was that a motion? So I'm sorry. So your motion was to table? Motion to continue to our next meeting?
Motion to continue to our next meeting.
We have a motion to continue to our next meeting.
When is the next meeting? On 8/25.
We have a motion if you want to second that one. And then we have a second from Councilwoman Ionati. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We will take that up at August 25th, Mr. Manager, August 25th. All right, and our library folks are here tonight. We've got a library board of trustees. We've got an opening. We have a full set of documentation here. Is it Peter? How do you say the last name? Lomi? Oh, hello, sir. Hey, nice to see you. Thank you. Come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Peter Lomi. I live at 21 Catalpa Way. Thank you for considering my appointment to the Library Board of Trustees. I live in Coventry for 20 years. My work in adult literacy and my service as treasurer for both the Literacy Volunteers of Kent County and the Coventry Public Library Foundation, and my regular attendance at the trustees meetings as a member of the public have deepened my commitment to the library and its mission. And I hope that I get your votes and earn this appointment.
Thank you so much. You do a lot of work. It's very understated there how you just presented it, but and advocacy for literacy is very important, and we're really glad you're looking to put even more time into the town. So certainly appreciate that. Thank you. Councilman Hull.
Just can you remind me how to pronounce your last name?
Lomi.
Lomi. I would make a motion to approve Peter Lomi to the Library Board of Trustees.
And I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Your package was very well put together. Thank you.
Thank you.
You summarized that in a very short amount of time.
It's those library people, man. They're really good at this stuff. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All
Mr.
right.
President, can we do the
Yes, sir.
Newport Creamery license next?
Yeah, I was thinking we'll open up the public hearing. We've got license for new Class B. Is anyone here from Newport Creamery? Oh, come on up, sir. So we'll be opening up the public hearing. Anybody want a motion? Yeah.
I'll make a motion to open up public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Yeah. It's awful hot in here.
Talking about a little different situation there.
You can add something in it.
We could. It's not, it's good, it is possible.
So looks like tonight, this is the Class B license. Believe everything's been met. All right. Anything new going on, or we're just back for the?
We're trying to compete with the, local businesses. We've been awful for eons. And then the average consumer is kind of leading away from just standard drinks and looking for, other beverages. So, we're just looking to compete, salsas, canned beverages, mimosa, nothing crazy, not full bars, late nights, entertainment, nothing like that. So
Interesting.
potentially maybe something in an awful, you never know.
Really well, yeah.
It's political season. Be
I
careful.
did see somebody walk in here today with an awful.
Wow. Yeah. Well, a lot of opportunity there for some branding.
Didn't want to say that.
Sounds good to me, Councilman Hul.
I'd make a motion to approve the new Class B liquor license for Newport
second.
Primary.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, sir, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right. So item C under public hearing, we continued it before, and now this is us to continue it again to keep it moving.
B and
B and C.
B and C, correct.
Gotcha. Okay. Do we need a motion for that, or is that just announcing it? Okay.
Motion to continue the public hearing to a date certain, Mr. President.
Sounds good. I'll entertain it. Yes, correct.
Make a motion to continue items B and C to the August 8th.
25th.
25th, August 25 council meeting. To include the public hearing itself.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Councilman. That takes care of A, B, and C. Do we want to move right over to D? All right. Let's see. We've got item D is the public hearing that has been continued from our last meeting. And this is on the proposed tax stabilization agreement. Just for anyone who's watching from last time, this is a continuation of that discussion. We left off with some kind of back and forth with our developer, and this is the next iteration of that discussion. Yes, please, come on up.
Good evening, Mr.
Good
President.
evening.
Members of the council. For the record, my name is Kelly Morris Salvatore. I'm the attorney for Star Resolute. I have with me Tim Eden, who is the principal of Star Resolute. As you mentioned, Mr. President, we have been before you to begin the public hearing at your last regular meeting. We did take your comments to heart, and we have made some changes. I do want to address a couple of things because I know some of the public wasn't here, may not have heard what we talked about the last time. I just want to bring up a few, and congratulations and welcome to the council,
Thank you.
Mr. Copley.
Yes.
Copley, thank you. So one of the members of the public talked about 17 years. I just want to be clear about what we're asking for because we have made a couple of changes. So we're asking for 5 years for construction where the property value won't really go up anyway, but it will be either when the CO issues or 5 years from when this starts, whichever is earlier. So it could be a year, it could be 5 years, but no more. And then after that, we've reduced the term to 12 years. We had initially asked for 15 years. We talked about 10, we talked about 12. We're asking you to approve 12 years. With the 12 years, we have added to the resolution that we will agree to reimburse the costs of a traffic light and the temporary traffic light up to $525,000. Now, I know you have a resolution on your agenda for just over 400,000, so we figure that with 525,000, that would cover the approximately 10,000 a month for the temporary light. So that's what we're offering for that. I also want to remind the council that right now, according to your finance director, you're getting about $18,000 a year from this property. If it were obviously to continue to be vacant, that's what you'd be getting. During the term of this tax stabilization agreement, for the same property, you'll get $12 million instead of 18,000 a year. At the end of the term, that'll escalate. We don't know how much, but I would suspect because of what we're offering, we're saying like 1.8 million. So it's probably going to be over 2 million per year for this one site. So I think that's just important to reiterate. We also want to highlight that this is an economic development proposal. With Mr. Eden's purchase of not just this property, but several properties, the road construction has gone on, the top coat has gone on for the center of New England. The crossover work is happening. With the continued development of center of New England, a lot of positive things are happening over there, including that traffic light that I know has been wanted for many, many years. There will be construction jobs, obviously. We are adding affordable housing, which is much needed, not just in Coventry, but across the state. We talked about Quonset really, needing places for their employees to live. And also, as you know, when residents move into an area, they're going to support your retail, your services, any other restaurants. That's all going, when they say build it and they will come, that is what we would hope is going to happen there. In terms of the tax stabilization agreement, we made a couple of other changes that we discussed at the last meeting. One is because you're considering adding the municipal fire districts to your municipal departments, we've added language that says if that happens, the tax stabilization agreement will absorb the 2.40 current rate of, I think it's Central Coventry where this is. So the rates will automatically go up and that will be added. And I did include I called it the sample TSA projection, which I believe you have, that does show what that per unit revenue amount will go up to if the municipal department comes inside the town. And then finally, we did add the language that this will never benefit the receiver. So there's language in there that says if this happens to go back to the receiver or it never gets to Star Resolute, this TSA will not benefit the receiver, which is something that you wanted. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
You definitely skipped the part about the $20 million change. Go
So,
on that.
so we started at 70 million. And good point, Mr. President. I'm glad you brought that up.
That's what I'm here for.
So when we first approached you, we had a $70 million assessment. We talked about Mr. Savetti sent you a spreadsheet essentially using 100 million. We just can't get to that number. What we have done is we went through many apartment buildings across the state of Rhode Island. And you did get this, right? The Rhode Island multifamily property tax analysis. They have that? Yep. So what we did was we looked at many, many different apartment buildings across the state and what their per unit assessment is. And they're all over the place, but so are the tax rates. So what we're showing, again, when we discussed this at the beginning, we wanted predictability, not just for the developer, but also for the town. So you will know exactly what you're getting per unit as these units and buildings are occupied. If you look at the multifamily property tax analysis, our numbers are almost always, I think, maybe even in all cases, not in all cases, but higher or much higher than the per unit annual tax revenue to these various towns. You have rates like in Providence, commercial rates per thousand are 28, yours is 20.70. Commercial rates in Providence are 28.50, East Providence is 2106, North Providence is 2432, Cranston is 2082, Warwick is 72, West Warwick is 2620, and Cumberland is $11.03. Even with the fire district, it's $12.45 combined. So it's not just about the assessment, it's also about the tax rate. So we know you wanted to look at what the proposed value was, but it's really important for you to look at the per unit revenue because, again, depending on what your community you're in Rhode Island, there's going to be a large range of what you're going to get per unit. And frankly, we think that, well, we know that this is what this project can handle. So we're being very transparent. This is what the proposed value is. But as we've asked you in the past, we're asking you to look at the per unit tax revenue, which is predictable and we believe is reasonable, even when we look at other comparisons across the state. Anything else?
Well, we would just add that that does include the fire department tax. So Coventry's tax is high compared to the other towns in the state. And so we're trying to manage to that number ultimately. And also at the end of the term, the property is reassessed. So it would get reassessed at the full value then.
Councilman Conley, I have a question. What's your profit margin on this project?
We hope that there is some. Honestly, the costs are very high. The interest rates are high. These projects are not guaranteed to make any money at all.
So why are you in the business of doing building if you're not making any money at it?
That's a good question. There's a lot easier ways to make a living. I promise you that. But we're in the business of building apartments. We believe in it. We believe that it's important for the community. We believe in housing and affordable housing. And the Center of New England delivers 700 units, of which 18% are classified as affordable housing. We think it's a major contribution to the community, and we believe very strongly in apartment development.
So you don't know your profit margin?
Well, we hope it's 10 or 12% along with most other businesses, but we don't have any guarantee of what that is. And here's the reason, because we don't really know what the rents are going to be, and we know the expenses are going up. We can benchmark the expenses. We know what they are, but we don't know really where rates are going to be. We don't know the competitive landscape. And if rental rates come in 10% below projections, everybody loses.
So what's your build out time?
Well, we hope we hope that we can get to construction next year sometime. It's a 2-year build cycle. So we would hope to stabilize within 3 or 4 years.
Is that why you came to the agreement? Well, the terms of 12, your terms of 12 years?
12 years after
Completion?
certificate of occupancy. But the ramp up time, 350 units, the lease up time is significant. Now, this project has multiple buildings, so we hope to be able to deliver those buildings and lease up as we go, but it's very difficult. It's 350 units. It would have to be close to 20 to 25 leases per month to lease up the property. So it's a long process to get it leased.
I just want to add to that. What Mr. Savetti had proposed to the council was like 2 phases, where the first phase would be building 1 or half the amount of units. And then building 2, there would be almost like a new stabilization period. What we've done is we've made it into 1 stabilization period. So even if the first, say he builds 100 units in the first year, he gets those 100 units at the per unit revenue that we've identified here. In year 2, if he builds the rest of them, they're all at year 2. It's not like there's going to be a change, like a bifurcated stabilization.
They're not going to be staggered?
They're not going to be staggered, which again, Mr. Savetti had kind of proposed, I don't want to say he proposed it, but that was one of the examples that he gave. We made it so that once a CO is issued, even if it's just for 1 building, the stabilization period begins. So there's no yeah, bifurcated or trifurcated type of situation.
I'll just have to look into those numbers for myself. Thank you.
Councilwoman Ionati.
Am I correct that if we approve the consolidation of the fire departments, that you're capped at $2.40 per thousand?
Yes.
No. Plus the
Well-
fire department is taxes, it's $22.70.
But that's what she's asking about, the fire
The
part
fire
of
cost
it.
is capped at $2.40 per thousand by contract, but everyone else would pay the real number.
Which is what we're proposing for the entire tax stabilization agreement. We're proposing to stabilize taxes. So right now, just like we're using the current tax rate for Coventry, we're using the current tax rate for, I believe it's Central Coventry. I get confused between that and Coventry Fire District, but is it Central? Thank you. So we're using just like we're using the current tax rate in Coventry, we're using the current tax rate in Central Coventry.
So that would go into the other fire department. So that goes to that fire department then.
We are in our public hearing, so see,
I think I understand. She might, so if the municipal fire department, if the fire districts do not become a part of Coventry, they're separate. They're not under this agreement. Only in the case where the fire districts become a municipal department does that escalation kick in. Otherwise, we pay it separately on their terms.
just opening it up for anyone in chambers wanting to talk on this one since we're in a public hearing. All right, come on forward. You in the back. Good evening, and just name and address for the record, please.
Cheryl Connor, and I live on Richardson Road, which is Western Coventry. So this is actually, all right, so public speaking in high school was a good thing.
Take your time. We're going to be here.
Okay. I see representation here, legal representation, people who are trained in legalese and in the art of persuasion, coming and standing before you and presenting all sorts of arguments about why these large developments are beneficial for the town, how it's going to be beneficial for the residents, beneficial across the board. They're flashing dollar signs in front of you and saying, look at how wonderful this is. What I would like to know was, where is the representation for the residents in Western Coventry? There's a gentleman that talked about the houses going for sale. These are families that have spent decades building a home in an area that we love, that we've raised our families in, and that we are pushed out of because we are not being represented. The people of Western Coventry, we like the country. We want to be left alone. We want to leave you alone. You don't see a lot of representation here from Western Coventry because basically we're people that just want to live our lives. You see the small farms over here. They want to sell eggs. They want to raise a family. They want a quiet life. We've left cities exactly for the reason that Coventry, as this gentleman over here said, is so beautiful. We pay taxes too, and we don't ask for a lot in return, okay? We supply our own water. We deal with our own septic systems. A lot of us have generators when the electricity goes out, and we wait patiently for the electricity to go back on. Our tax dollars have been a decades-long investment in this town to preserve our families, our lives, the quietness, and to preserve, as another woman pointed out, the woodlands, the open fields, a place where our children like to run around and play. You know, I understand that country life is not for everyone. Then go to the city. Our families in Western Coventry moved from the city. We need to be heard. We need to be listened to. Like, I understand the arguments that, okay, well, we need housing. Okay, we need housing. Do we need to plow down every field with a tree, every blade of grass, and build this bucolic urban jungle that's being presented to you left and right, while the people of Western Coventry drive by and are not being heard, represented? There's a lot of people who say, well, where are they? I'll tell you where they are. They're in their homes, frustrated, brokenhearted, and traumatized because we're not being heard and we are not being represented at all. You want to talk about a fire department? We have spent year after year after year, my husband stuffing an envelope, paying his fire tax. You know, it is absolutely heartbreaking to know that you have been part of a community for year after year after year after year after year, and then to have to come out and stand before you and say, where is my representation? Where are my neighbor's representation? You sign pieces of paper and say, oh yes, this looks great. You are affecting the quality of life of people that you were put here to represent. Do you understand that? You are hurting families and you are hurting people. There is a way to do this. You want to make a bucolic world? I do too. We don't have to chop down all the trees to do it. I could share personal stories of how the zoning department came in to my neighbor, plowed through it, left her with a mess. It's not a story you're going to hear. It's not mine to share. It's a piece of paper to you. It was a night on a docket. But the consequences of that choice has caused very real and dire pain, suffering for the people involved. And I'm sorry, but the people of Western Coventry matter. And it's time for the people up here to understand that. And again, where's our representation? Where are the people who are going to come up and defend us? Why should a mother, she's a mother, she's got children, I'm a mother, I have children. Why should she have to come up and defend herself from hundreds of dollars of fines because she wants...
We just got to keep it to the
Okay.
TSA, tax.
I don't
stable.
know what
That's
those
the
are.
tax agreement we're on for the public hearing.
Okay, well, I think I've spoken my piece. Again, thank you for your time. And I would hope very much that you take in very much into consideration that there are actual people involved in these decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, everyone. My name's David Florio. I live at 153 Princeton Avenue. I have the honor to know John Pasqua, who is the councilman from District 1. Mr. Pasqua, did you have anybody run against you in this election? No. So you ran unopposed. So from what I can see and from what I see on TV and radio, you've been meeting with the governor on your district. And you've been speaking to people about District 1. And you've been going to meetings. And you've been representing them from what I can see. And to come up here and insult you.
TSA, we got to stick to the tax
Okay,
agreement.
So by sticking with the tax agreement, you're saying, I am representing you, and I'm doing the best I can at that position. So, thank you, Mr. Pasqua. I don't live in your district, but I do know you personally. I know you all personally. And I think you're doing a fantastic job. Okay? That's it, Mr. President. Mr. Vice President, thank you.
Thank you. Nope. The mic's out too. All right. Anyone else in chambers? And if not, if you're on Zoom and you want to speak on the public hearing for the tax agreement, please raise your hand. What's going on tonight? All right. I see one hand on there. I think it's Cheryl. If that's you, please come on in. Take yourself off mute. And name and address for the record, please. I think it says Cheryl. Oh, he couldn't get you off. He
All
was
right,
up here.
here I
Okay,
am.
there you go. Sorry.
Okay, Cheryl Kane, 185 Reed Schoolhouse Road. I agree with the people tonight that were speaking about the tax stabilization. I believe the citizens of Coventry need the tax stabilization more than a large company coming in to build these homes. Center of New England has been on tax stabilization since the beginning of time. I think it's time that they're on their own. People do want to come and they want to build. If this company doesn't want to develop it, we'll get somebody else. What we really need is businesses. We've been saying this for over 30 years. If we do not get businesses, we will never survive. We will never be able to be a municipal fire department. Our schools will be in disarray. We need to increase our impact fees. I will say that over and over again. I know someone had mentioned that you can't do it. Well, we have to find a way because we need some help for our taxpayers. And in order, and if you, this is going to happen, you got to take away from something. If people aren't going to be able to pay, we're going to have to either eliminate Parks and Rec or Human Services. You have to take away something because we just cannot afford it. And that's all I have to say at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let's see. That's anyone else? Public hearing. Going once, going twice. All right. Let's see. Councilman Hull. Oh, what's that? Oh, sorry. Thank you, Solicitor. Diane, please come on in, unmute yourself and name and address for the record, please. If you can hear us, Diane, just take yourself off mute. Going again for Diane. Caller, can you hear us? Oh.
Can you hear
There we
me?
go. Yes, we got you. No, we got you.
Good evening.
Come on in.
Technology is never my
Yeah.
favorite.
No, same here. Just need your name and address for the record and then go ahead.
This is Diane Croy, CROY, 445 Barb's Hill Road, way out here in Green. I just wanted to say thank you to Samantha and the woman from Richardson Road who had a very passionate speech. I appreciate the fact that they stood up and they're sticking up for our rural area. I totally agree with everything that was said. With as far as the center of New England, that really, it's not close to my home, but I feel as though, as Cheryl said, we need to attract more business to the community than anything else. I feel like the 30% minimum housing is being held over our heads, and the more that you build, the more that needle is going to keep moving. I don't think we're ever going to reach that. Some of these price tags on things seem pretty hefty, like $500,000 for a temporary traffic signal, if I'm understanding that. and $400,000 for lights for Payne Field, which I feel are needed, but I don't know why they would cost that much. I think we need to take a hard look at some of the price tags on things. As far as building up center of New England, we have a lot of vacant areas where businesses could be established, and I think the landlords, we can't really tell them what to do with their property, but they should work to attract businesses. And I think that would add more to our tax base. I think everyone's doing a great job looking into things. You're always willing to listen, but I think, even with the municipal fire department, I think mine's the only one that's probably in the red.
Just on the tax stabilization agreement, but
Yeah. So I don't know. It sounds like they're trying to stabilize that development center of New England. They're trying
right.
to
Yep.
stabilize the taxes only if we're all municipal. Is that correct? Because I just don't know what's going to happen to us.
They were just pointing out that there would be a different rate should the town go municipal, but they would have to account for that change
Okay.
in the assessment and bake that into the rate.
Okay. Thank you. I may have
You're welcome.
rambled a little bit. I'm sorry. My Toastmasters is
Wow.
rusty.
You're in
But
good
thank you for-
company for rambling.
Thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
All right. With that, I think we're gonna
President, just so you know, if the council has any questions, Director Savetti's here. He went
was
over
gonna ask,
the
okay.
numbers on the
Yeah.
PSA proposal. He ran some other scenarios, so he is available if council wants to ask any questions.
Gotcha. Councilman Pasqua.
All right, just a couple of comments on this. I think people brought up some great points about commercial development in the town of Coventry, and really that's what's needed. And I think one of the things, and I had to figure this out for myself as well, one of the things that can be confusing is when we're talking about housing at this magnitude, it's actually commercial. It's not residential. People live there, but it's actually a commercial establishment, which means that it pays a much higher tax rate. And it doesn't require services like trash and all of that kind of stuff. So, when we look at other towns and we see much lower tax rates, and I'll give you an extreme example, like Block Island, right? It's like, I don't know, $5 a thousand or $3 a thousand compared to what we pay. You say, well, how the heck can they survive and have such a low tax rate? It's because their property value is significantly higher. We don't have an ocean. We don't have anything worth $20 million here. But the one thing that can give us that kind of base is commercial. So when we look at the center of New England, which you can't really get any further away from Western Coventry than that, when we look at center New England, it really is a prime location to take advantage of a certain type of real estate to give us a very high value to be able to put back in the town and ultimately take the property tax burden off the residents and shift it over to commercial. And so this is an opportunity, as long as we work out the agreement correctly that makes sense for everybody, this is an opportunity to be able to shift that financial burden away from residents to the commercial base. And I think it was something like 10%, which is huge. So, I know we're looking at this and people are saying, oh, well, it's a big corporation. They have a lot of money. Why should we give them a tax break? The reason is because the town of Coventry is a business and we have to attract clients. And the people who are the biggest payer to our company are commercial people. And we are all shareholders in the town of Coventry. So when we do well and we attract businesses in the right areas, it helps all of us by being able to lower the tax rate. So, I want people to understand that, yes, we're looking at multifamily, and I wanted like a Patriot Place and South County Commons. These are my dreams of having something like that over there. I thought it'd be awesome. But unfortunately, the economy doesn't support that kind of thing. And, I have talked with these developers several times about trying to get that type of commercial here. And what is going to bring in business for them and ultimately for us is going to be high density residential, and it actually is commercial. So I just wanted to clear up some of that confusion because there's a lot of great points made about all of this stuff. And I want people to understand that we are not talking about just the residential rate. We're talking about commercial.
Thank you for the context. Our senior member here, appreciate that. It is technically, they're using the commercial tax rate, so totally understand the point. Let's see, anyone else on this one? All right, I think with that, we'll close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Now, Mr. Solicitor, does it make sense to move to the resolution? Are you thinking about it, or did you hear me? Oh.
I did not.
Does it make sense to go to the resolution now? Okay. Gotcha.
The TSA agreement, you mean? Just all right,
Again?
the TSA agreement go to that. Yeah.
Right. Okay, we are now on, for those scoring at home, item 6, under resolution 2677, Councilman Hool.
Thank you, Council President. While I agree with Councilman Pascua's sentiments there in regards to it being a commercial development, I have to tell you that I am frustrated that here we are once again where these numbers have changed. We had a really in-depth conversation about where our threshold was, where me personally, where my level of tolerance was, what I expected to get back for the town of Coventry. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to deny the resolution 2026-77 as presented.
I second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second to deny this current version of the TSA. Any discussion? Go ahead.
I'll continue. 17 years, no matter how you work it. It was supposed to be 12 years, 2 years of building, 10 years of tax payments. It's now turned into 5 years of build time, 2 more years, and then another 10 years. Math is not my strong point. The more you give me, the more frustrated I get because I want clean, clear, and precise information the first time, not the third time. And that's really just, it's really where I'm at with it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councilman. Certainly echo those same sentiments. This just seems like we talk about one thing and we get presented something materially different. Any discussion from anyone else on this one? I think we got to do a roll call, Madam Clerk. We had a first, we had a second, we had a discussion, so I believe so.
Clarification, Mr. President. If the council votes to deny at this point, it's gonna, any further matter would have to start the process again. If the council wants to leave the door open, you'd have to table it and continue. Just to make sure.
Thank you for the clarification, Mr. Solicitor. We've left the door open multiple times. At some point, the door is either going to close or someone's going to get serious.
So we heard our options. We know where we're at. The current motion would mean a start over. Anything, did you have something? Councilman Pasqua?
We want to give Star Capital an opportunity to respond and maybe counter anything to this, or?
I mean, personally, I think we've done that for several weeks, but, you know, Councilwoman Ionati.
We've been going after this for months. And every time we come to some kind of agreement that we believe in, that gets changed. So I'm done. I mean, either we're going to go by what we say and you're going to do what you said you were going to do, because every time I turn around, I thought we had something in agreement. I'm with Richard on that and Councilman Hool, because this is crazy train. And I mean, really, so I'm sorry, but that's how we all feel.
I think the council has spoken. Let's see, can we allow any comment from the developer? Okay, sure, come on.
Well, there's a motion.
There is.
Second, it's open for discussion. Allowing comment makes good sense to me before you act on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I could just respond. Yes, we've been all over the map. I will grant you that. But it's a very complex set of circumstances that we're managing to. And when you look at what the revenue projection is on a per unit basis, it is very competitive. It is high. And so the assessment, I think we're focused on the assessment of $80 million. It's derived is what it is from what we think is an appropriate tax level. And what you're saying is that at $5,500 per unit is not enough. And what we're here to say, after all the analysis that we have done with the manager and with David, is that the project cannot support an unlimited amount of property tax. It fails. And I think we demonstrated that by looking at the competitive properties in the state.
Councilman Hu?
If I may, one of the things that you just responded to Councilman Copley's, that your profit margin, you were hoping 10% won't ever knock you for that. One of the questions that I have, this is my business. I do real estate. I get nailed for it all the time. But one of the benefits of that is I know the business. So one of the questions that I have for you is, with a TSA in place, does that or does that not increase the valuation of your product to further then sell? Because I don't believe anymore at this point that you have any intentions on actually developing. I think you're the front man to get this TSA accepted and then going to flip it and sell it. So my question to you, and I could be completely wrong, and if I am, I apologize, and I'll do that on the record, no worries. But my question is, if we approve a TSA with a large tax break, what does that do for the valuation of your project?
Well, it gets it off the ground.
But dollar-wise, right? Because this is all dollars. So I'm trying to see what you're making compared to what we're giving away. So I'm just curious to what's the value? You must know what the valuation would be with the TSA.
So the answer is, with an uncertain tax rate, it does not get built.
But I don't think it was an uncertain tax rate. We were willing to have a conversation about a tax rate. You went from 70 million to 100 million. Now you're down to 80 million. And it's just like, phew, it's like this roller coaster here. And I don't like heights.
Again, it's the per unit cost that is choking it chokes the project. And we can't get to a point where the project will not get financed. It will not exist. And we'll be back to an industrial development. And maybe that's okay. But the absolute dollar tax impact to the community will be a fraction of what that would be. So I think you have to look at it in aggregate as the economic engine of the project itself. It brings a tremendous amount to the community. The tax phase-in is it is a phase-in of taxes. It helps get the project stabilized.
But I've been very open and honest. Oh, sorry to.
Councilwoman Ionati?
First of all, you just said industrial. I'm perfectly fine with industrial in here because it brings in jobs. They don't live here. It's not going to hit our roads, our schools. They're going home, and we're going to bring in some jobs and a reason to be here. So personally, I'm fantastic for industrial. I'm all for that versus apartments or homes,
Yeah,
which
so-
I'm not.
So it's going to be a fraction of the tax impact to the community.
Down the road, we have people who are be employed. We're not ruining our towns and our roads. We have no communities that need our police. We have jobs that can bring in. They're going to go shopping here and go home. Because I worked in Boston, I shopped there. I worked in Boston, I shopped, I did my stuff. I got in my car. I came home at the end of the day. Personally, I'm good with industrial because I believe that that's what we actually need for long term.
So we got the project approved 24 months ago with the planning commission. It was in line with the zoning. We got it approved, and we're here to move the project forward. Not only the townhouses for sale, but also the rental community. I think we went to great lengths to demonstrate the impact and the positive impact of a rental project like this on the community. Seniors that want to move out of their house and move down, people would stay in the community. It does an awful lot for the community, but it doesn't happen without the support of the council. And if the council is going to vote it down, the council's going to vote down a big housing project for the community. And we think it's beneficial, but we cannot do everything, and we cannot agree to a tax rate that might be up. It might escalate to $30 per thousand by the time the project delivers. That's a very real possibility. It's in your own projections. So I don't think we're being unreasonable. It's in line with the other projects that have gotten built in the state of Rhode Island. And it's being competitive. We have to compete. The town needs to compete, and we need to compete. And what we feel like we put on the table with all the work that we have done with the council and with the town manager is a competitive proposal. And we're here to take suggestions. If there's another number, I mean, I think we're arguing about numbers right now, not the total approach to what we're doing. But if we're not getting to the number that you have in mind, then tell us what we need to do.
Can I just want to add, Councilman Hool, because as you've heard me say several times, because I don't think we've been all over the place. When we met, counselors asked for the 100 million. We always wanted you to focus on the tax revenue payment. So you have to back into that. Like what Mr. Eden is saying, if there's another number for tax revenue that you want to get to, we might be able to get to that, but we gave you a pretty comprehensive analysis of what other communities are charging for apartments.
Kelly,
So-
with all due respect, it doesn't matter to me what other communities are charging. What matters to me is I wanted your best and final and high, whatever you want to call it. I didn't want these months on ends of back and forth.
We've had one
to-
public hearing with,
Have we not met in the back?
yeah, we have.
Okay, so it's been months of back and forths for us to get here where this number changed once again. I'm just confused. And it's just like,
Again, I just want to be clear about our focus.
Yeah, no,
is the tax revenue. And I don't want to argue with you. You guys have been
Yeah,
great
no,
to work
no,
with. So I
not personal.
really, with all respect.
I
'cause
thank you
respect
guys for wanting to
every
do
one of you.
business here, but it has to make sense.
But I just want to be clear that we're focused on the predictability of the tax revenue per unit. And if there's some number, and when we look at, again, I know you don't want to look at other communities, but think about it. If they're only getting 4,000 a unit and you're asking for 5,500 a unit, it obviously isn't going to be financially feasible. To me, that's obvious. If that's the going rate for a tax payment, that's where I am. So I just want to be clear about that. It's not, because again, the tax rates are all over the place. So when you look at the tax revenue per unit, that's where we're trying to be. And we're trying to be as predictable as possible. So that's what I want to be clear about.
All right, Councilman Copley.
I would like to make a motion to table this because I'm now on the council. And I would just like to get a little bit more information and to revisit this with everybody on the council and then kind of deal with this. But I will warn both of you, the Viper's back on this council, and I'm not going to tolerate anything of shadiness by anybody anymore.
I think we respect this council, and I think the council members who we've been dealing with know that we respect them very much.
Yeah, I think there's a deal to be had here, but this just ain't it. And I thought we were closer than we were, and
But let me just go back to that very point there, Chairman, which is that we were at $4,400 per unit and you were at $6,500 per unit. And we said, let's meet in the middle. And we met in the middle. And now you're saying you don't like it.
I didn't agree to meet in the middle with you.
So
You're just proposing to meet in the middle. I didn't neither agree, disagree. I didn't propose that.
we have been trying as hard as we can. I think in all fairness,
I just want to correct the record. It wasn't a we because I didn't say that.
didn't mean you. I meant that we collectively, I think we agreed to try, that we were close. We were going to try and get to a number. We're just talking about numbers. We want to move this project forward. It sounds like it's going to get killed at committee here, and that's too bad.
it's not killing the project. It's just the TSA portion of it, just to be clear. And we also have motions and a couple motions over here. So we're going to deal with what we have in front of us on this. So the first motion had a second as well, or?
Was Councilman Copley's motion seconded?
No, not yet. Okay.
There's an open motion, point of order.
Right.
I have an open motion, which I'm willing to withdraw and allow Councilman Copley's motion to move forward so we can have a further discussion. I'm open to that, which would then leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My motion was to be able to not, is to continue this talk, not to close the door, but
close the
I
door.
really think, looking at all the council members here, I think we can talk now that we're going to have more people on here to really kind of get to the bottom of this and literally, I think by the next council meeting where we can figure this out one way or another.
So that would be a motion to table to a date certain of August 25th? Is that what? Oh. No, I'm just trying to clarify. He withdrew his. So now we have the motion. I just want to clear what the motion is.
Let's just go, I don't want to get hyper-technical here. The Councilman who, did you withdraw your motion? Councilman Capaldi, did you withdraw your second? Are you willing to?
I am willing to withdraw my second.
Now we have a motion to table on the board, we need to be second.
And I'll second Councilman.
To continue, not table. I second it.
I'm sorry, to continue. Right.
Councilman,
Yeah, whatever's best for all parties involved. I mean, I understand that, if
next council meeting.
Give us a good month.
if
Yeah.
it can fit on there, sure. I mean, it's no problem.
That's a question.
All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion further on that?
That's, I think if you're going to revisit the numbers, you should continue the public hearing as well.
Right.
Is that all right, Councilman? Can you continue both matters?
Yeah, absolutely.
There'll be both the continuation of the public hearing and the resolution till August 25th, 2026, date certain.
Gotcha.
That would be your motion.
Yes, sir.
And who made the second?
He is not here, but he did. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Vice President. So we have a motion and a second to move this item to our next meeting, August 25th. And that's going to include both, the potential resolution and the public hearing. So door is still open. Any further discussion? Good.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go, is a lot of work into this and, we are hashing out numbers at this point. So I think probably, not to cut our nose off to spite our face, probably just look at some numbers more. It's frustrating, but let's just revisit it and see if we can come to an agreement. Just process of government, but frustratingly slow.
Yes, oftentimes we mention that. So you have some, Nutty.
I'm just going to go back to when you said industrial businesses. Do you have some in mind? Truly.
We have done the best we could to bring this project to fruition. 2 years worth of work. We had this TSA submitted a year ago. And a year later, we're getting turned down for a very competitive proposal to the town.
That's enough. We very much appreciate you continuing to consider this. Thank you, Councilman Copley.
All right. Motion second, discussion.
Just been informed and I just been reminded that there was actually a motion to close the public hearing.
That's correct.
So could I ask the council
To reopen it?
reopen the
Got it.
public hearing before you continue, please?
All right, let's go back a step, and then we will.
Just do me a favor, Councilman Copley, would you be willing to just withdraw your motion for the moment?
Yes, I withdraw my motion for the moment.
Vice President, will you withdraw your second?
Right.
Vice President, will you withdraw your second?
Make a motion to open public hearing.
Well, no, just withdraw your second. And now we need a motion to reopen public.
Make a motion to reopen public hearing.
I second.
Motion in a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. We are back in open public hearing. Okay. Now, we're in a public hearing. I will entertain a motion, Councilman Copley.
Make the motion to table this to the next town council meeting,
Continue?
which is. Yes, exactly what Mr. Iglio said.
Second.
All right, motion and a second to continue the item, the resolution, and the public hearing to the date certain of August 25th, 2026. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. The item is continued.
Thank them this time.
Yes. Your thank you, your previous thank you has been withdrawn. Okay, so that concludes public hearing. Oh, we need to close the public hearing now.
I make a motion to close public hearing.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I'm sorry. That continues that public hearing, but in the present moment, are we in a public hearing? That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. Okay. All right, that's easy. Right, just to do that. That's what I was asking. That's what I asked.
Can I ask for a point of order? Councilman Pascua just made a motion to open public hearing. Wouldn't a motion to follow needed to close public hearing?
Because if we closed it, then we would have to start all over again. So the motion was.
To continue?
Continue the public hearing and the resolution to a date certain. If you close it, it's over and it has to be re-advertised.
All right, pleasure of the council. Where do we want to head next? We've got, we did start on resolutions, so we're, all right, so we are on page 4 of your agenda, item B, resolution 2678. Oh, this is the Ford Police Patrol Interceptor with the tinted windows.
Call him. He was tucking in quick and.
Yeah.
Get you home.
Yeah, I'll be here with you guys. All right, this resolution is for a frontline patrol car. It is a same as what is matching the rest of our fleet. It's a 2026 Ford SUV. It's a regularly budgeted item. This is coming out of our 2026, 2027 operational budget. And I'm available for any questions.
All right, anyone up here? Councilwoman Capaldi.
I would love the public to know what you said to the gentleman of why cop cars have, yeah.
Yeah, what it boils down to is officer safety. It protects our officers against ambush.
Does it also keep it cool inside? Because that's what we read on Google. Not really?
and,
Okay.
So what you'll see, this is not separate. This is not a Coventry thing. It's not even a state thing. It's a nationwide thing where police and firemen have been ambushed, either arriving to calls or even at traffic intersections. As a person that used a car for cover, you want as much of that protection as possible. So it comes down to 100%. It doesn't make the car look cooler. We understand that the general public can't have it. I get that. But it really just protects my guys. That's all it comes down to.
Good answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Vice President Brown.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-78.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Okay.
On to item C, resolution 2679. This is awarding the purchase of an aluminum dump body for a 2017 Ford F-550. Oh, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How's everyone else doing?
Oh, we're doing great. Thanks for
Okay.
joining.
Good. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so seeking your approval to purchase a aluminum dump body for our landscape dump truck. It's a 2017. The body on it is original. It has some sizable holes in it that you can see through. It's made it difficult for us to. We've had some playground projects that we're doing. It's been difficult to use that truck, so I thank Director McGee for allowing us to borrow and utilize his trucks for hauling. But I think getting the aluminum, I mean, there's three kinds. There's the regular metal, the aluminum, the stainless steel. I kind of went in the middle. So I think this body, if purchased with your approval, will last the life of the truck. It's a 2017, so we should be able to get another 8 to 10 years out of that body. It does take a bit of a beating because it is the truck that we use to salt the roads during snow operations. And I think getting the aluminum body will help to alleviate some of that wear or corrosion that can happen from that. So just seeking your approval on this.
Councilman Hul.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-79.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All right. Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. While you're up here,
Yes.
want to skip over to the lights?
Pleasure of the council.
I'd like to do resolution 2026-66. Item A.
Yes, this is under section 9 of the agenda. This was carried over from previous agenda. So it is on a different section, but it's item A, page 5 on your agendas. This is the previously mentioned Payne Field lights. While we got you up here.
Sure. So you should have before you the full contract with Fulcrum. Just allow me to go over a couple of things in there. Agreeing to this this agreement tonight is step one. There is language in here that what this will allow us to do is allow Fulcrum to go before Rhode Island Energy. They will then get the solid numbers in terms of like they're estimating a rebate of 66,428. Through Rhode Island Energy, they'll give us a letter of agreement which will spell out all of the terms, the actual amount of the incentive, the length of the zero interest financing, which could be up to 120 months. It could be less. So the project does not move forward per language in here until the town signs the letter of agreement with Rhode Island Energy. At that point, we would move forward if town signs that. If all the numbers look good and come back the way that Fulcrum is estimating they will, then we can move forward with the installation of the lights. The next step after that is a pole integrity test. So they'll test it. Fulcrum will test the integrity of each pole. If one of the poles fails, there's language in here at which time the project will stop and will only go forward with a change order approved by the town. If we don't approve that change order, then the lights don't go forward. So there are a couple of checkpoints within here that we will reach. So your approval tonight, if you approve tonight, will basically be step one, and then there'll be other checkpoints in here as we progress through the project.
Vice President Brown.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-66.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilman Hul.
Thank you, Director, for getting that information in regards to the polls. Obviously, spending $430,000 is never easy. But I'd like to remind people that over 200 plus kids will use those fields, according to the gentleman that was up here earlier. And I think that it's time that we make some smart investments with all of the money we do spend in this town. So thank you.
Yeah, and that might be a good time to also make the other point as far as fund source and where this is coming from. Did I see Director Savetti out here? Oh, there he is. I'm just trying to remember from last time. So this isn't a $400,000 general revenue expenditure that is gone. This is, I think we're talking about some kind of self-funding mechanism here where we,
There's a couple opportunities, I guess.
Okay.
We'll have to look at what Rhode Island Energy is offering. My understanding is Rhode Island Energy is offering an interest-free loan that we could
Okay.
take advantage of. The document that you have in your council packet where it has the payment schedule in the back, that actually reflects an interest rate about 6.25% or 6.5%. So we'll have to determine, which avenue we want to go with. Do we use fund balance? Do we put it into our capital lease and basically lease it from ourselves over a period of time? But we can certainly, once we get the final agreement from Rhode Island Energy, get
Gotcha.
it signed off.
no, okay. Go ahead, Councilwoman Ionati.
That rebate, it's saying that the deadline passed though, but we're gonna check on that again, correct? Because it was said May 29th, the deadline passed for that rebate.
My understanding is we can still go to Rhode Island Energy. I think that was a deadline that Fulcrum gave more to create a sense of urgency on our
Okay.
part.
Okay, just, that's
Yeah.
what I was just double
Yeah.
check.
Councilwoman?
And just to follow up on that, this is contingent upon the rebate from Rhode Island Energy matching the number you gave us. Because it's the town signing the agreement with Rhode Island Energy.
Correct.
Thank you.
And then there's a stop in place before we go forward. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. That is,
Estimated time of completion?
We're looking to do them in the fall. So we have to complete them in 2026. Fulcrum can do it in the colder months in November. It would be nice to get it done where the end of July. I mean, realistically, we might be looking closer to October.
That's fine. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be like the same timeline as the TSA or something, so.
Yeah, no, it has to be 20, in order to take advantage of the rebates, has to be done in 2026. So
Perfect.
Fulcrum is ready to mobilize when everything is signed and in place.
Nice, thank you.
all right. That's it for discussion. I think we're ready to vote. A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Director.
Thank you on behalf of the Coventry Girls Softball,
Yeah.
Little League, any other group that uses
Yeah.
the lights. This
Ah,
is an
good.
important first step. Thank you to everybody here.
Thank you very much. All right, cruising now. Next up, we could look at this is a maintenance request. It was referenced earlier by our land trust. Item D, Resolution 2680. So not to confuse the two issues, this is an appropriation from the fund that's generated money to do the maintenance at the specific locations. In previous times, it seemed that we didn't believe it was eligible. We've now had some new information that says, you know what, we can use the conveyance tax revenue to fund the maintenance. So this is going to be us authoring that resolution to provide the real estate conveyance tax fund money to do the repairs and maintenance.
Correct. So my mistake on the 55,000, that's my typo. I wrote this, so that's my error.
The last tribute to Councilwoman Capaldi.
Yes.
Wow.
And that is correct. It will come from the real estate conveyance fund the land trust has of 3.2 million.
All right, so you can cover it. Do we need to amend anything, or is the resolution okay? The resolution's okay. Okay. Gotcha.
No, the resolution needs to be corrected.
Oh, it does.
Yes. Line 26 needs to be 55050.
55050. All right, so first we need to make an amendment and then vote on the act itself. So a technical suggestion from town manager is to change
Line 26.
line 26, thank you, from 50050 to 55050. right. Oh, Councilman Hu?
I'd like to make a motion to amend Resolution 2026-80, line 6 and line 26 to reflect $55,050.
I second.
Motion, we have a second from Councilman Copley. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of the amendment? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. The amendment passes. We are back on Resolution 26-80.
I'd like to make a resolution to approve 2026-80.
We have a motion from Councilman Hu,
I'll second.
second from Councilwoman Capaldi. Any discussion? All right, so this is on the amended resolution. Oh, go
As
ahead.
amended, yes.
Yes. So we have a motion and a second, resolution as amended. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, on to item E. This resolution is 26-81. This is approval of a contract with TRC Group for a lake management plan for Johnson's Pond. In this case, we have a not to exceed amount because I don't think we have an exact figure yet. Oh, hello. Go ahead. Thank you and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the council, Maria Broadbent, Assistant Town Manager. And just by coincidence, today is, or July is Lake Appreciation Month. Right, that's why I'm here. So we're so proud. So Coventry's been really lucky that we're actually the beneficiary of Rhode Island DEM for the first time has done 5 lake management plans throughout the state, funded 5 of them. And they're working on Tioga and Upper Dam Pond. So Johnson's Pond wasn't included in that mix. This adds them to that mix. So our major sort of recreation ponds, there's some other smaller ones that, I would love to see us do in the future. Lake management plans offer an opportunity for data-driven, public comment-driven plans to look at what the conditions of a watershed are and what we can do to sustain them and improve them over time. So as Johnson's Pond, has been going through a big dynamic study and everyone's looking to see what the future uses of the pond are that might be different than they are today, it's important to know where we start. It's important to know where we start with all of the things that are listed as pollutants. There is a TMDL for a total maximum daily load, which is the amount of a pollutant on a daily basis in pounds that a water body can handle. And there is a mercury impairment in fish in the pond. But other than that, and aquatic vegetation, it's not looking too bad. But if you start to add more pressure to the lake, it's important that we start to look at what we need to keep an eye on. When Mr. Riley was talking about that, yes, we need to continue with sampling and monitoring. This is a dynamic document. This says what you need to pay attention to, where you need to pump the brakes, what you need to know more of, but it's also going to come together and say what you need to monitor in perpetuity. So there are some things that, in some ways, we've been lucky. We've got the ponds that Upper Dam Pond has been really organized. They've got a small group of people, really, that live on that pond. God bless them. It's a beautiful spot. Johnson's Pond, if we were to look at what an actual impact of all the boats are there isn't a specific formula to determine what the right size number is. There have been some studies for that in other places. So what I'm proposing is that we work with the same company that is doing the other 2 ponds in town. When I went to look at qualifications, There is a lake management society, and those folks actually license folks to do lake management plans. And there's only one company in the state of Rhode Island that has two people with the certification to do it, and that's TRC, the one I brought forward to you. This is a watershed plan, so it's not going to look at the water body itself. It's going to look at what's going into it. What's that big area of dirt that is running off into that pond? It's going to make some recommendations for things that maybe we haven't been looking as closely at as we should. But I think I did, the first watershed plan I did was before the EPA even came out with that 9-element plan, probably about 15, 20 years ago. And it's really important to get the opinion of the people that are impacted and the community as a whole. So it's sort of a way to move some of the thoughts that you've had with the redevelopment plan forward to make sure that they don't hurt. And to make sure that if there are people that have an opinion about what the uses should be in the future, that we look at what the impact of those uses are. So I could go on about this because this to me is the fun stuff. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
The funding mechanism for this is money that was assigned to
RDA, that's right.
Okay.
And it's a not to exceed amount because there's a base rate and there's a couple of a la carte things. And it may be that we decide that we want to concentrate a little bit more on one, or that we've got data gaps, because it is data driven. So it gives us some flexibility to make it be what we need, but not exceeding the amount that you approve.
Did we happen to touch on the bacteria part? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bacteria is going to be something that's going to be ongoing testing.
All right, just wanted to
Ongoing
make sure.
testing. The state is doing the bacteria testing for the other two ponds. We just don't have a swimming area or the state tests for it, but it needs to be continuously tested.
Gotcha. Councilwoman Ionati.
So with this testing, I don't know if I can do this, but I want to go back to the RDA where they extended that umbrella over everyone's home and that it says in there that they could take eminent domain. Are we going to have a hearing to let people know that that umbrella was expanded over their property? That there's language in that RDA that said that they would have the right to take over somebody's property, which I still feel needs to be said to people publicly.
I believe Mr. Williams provided that memorandum to
What?
us. I believe Mr. Williams from GZA provided the memorandum to us last meeting stating that
He thought he was coming back. I didn't know if I.
we can have him back on the 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can have him come back the 25th. Yes.
See that.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you again. But he'll be here the 25th on Zoom.
We
for the,
continued that other one
for the
last
next
time.
meeting.
Yeah. We'll have another crack at it.
We'll have another crack at it. She's gonna come back.
That doesn't include me, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Anybody else? All right. Thank you very much. All right. How do we feel? Pleasure of the council on this one. Vice President Brown?
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-81.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank
It
you.
was a quick turnaround and a lot of work, so appreciate it. All right. We can go back and do, so what's left? We've got ordinances, we've got
First reading of an ordinance. Item 7.
item 7 on your agenda, page 4. Item A, first reading of ordinance 26-21. This is the amendment of the Town of Coventry Code of Ordinances, Chapter 255 zoning. This is the property address 1119 Tioga Avenue, Assessor's Plat 28, Lot 3, and we have a proposed ordinance. Yeah. Let's hope so. Anyone here to speak on this one, Mr. Manager? No?
No, tonight's just the first reading.
Oh, I'm
It'll get-
sorry.
it'll get
Right.
Pushed to the 25th of August for the second reading and a public hearing. It's a zone change.
Alright. Did that satisfy our requirement for first reading?
Joanne's gonna check to see if that is gonna meet the 25th deadline. It may not. We may have to push it to September. So she'll let us know.
Okay. All right, so the first reading is complete. All right, thank you. Let's see, I think we still have some resolutions to go back to. Yes, page 5, we did item A, we can move to item B. This item was continued from June 23rd. This is the resolution for the D'Amber construction. This is the Hopkins Hill traffic signal. This is to order the actual light itself. This is where we left off last time around in the amount of $413,940.
So as the discussion's been going back and forth about who's going to pay for the light, whether it's going to be reimbursable or not, I think the council should move forward with this just to get the stuff ordered. Either way, it has to happen, whether we're paying for it, Star Resolute's paying for it. This needs to move forward. So asking for the council to approve this so I can sign the contract and D'Amber can order the steel, which is about 30 weeks out.
So the road can't be opened unless we have a light. So the town has a need of the permanent light, despite some people's inquiries. We did get this bid out, and surprising to all of us, that is the amount, $400,000. Obviously is very high. Nobody was really expecting that, but we also don't have a lot of experts in traffic signal market. So we did have a bid that is unfortunately the lower of the bid. Question now is, we know we need it, and there's a delay on the steel of 6 to 8 months. How many?
30 weeks. Installation.
30 weeks.
Yes,
So,
installation will be June 1 of 27.
so the path now is order it now, get it coming while we, obviously it's tied to the TSA that we left the door open for. So reimbursement is on the table, but if we need it anyway, the question is order it now. So just to set that up. Councilman Pasqua?
So, I can't help but wonder if by approving this resolution and signing a contract, that's going to put us in a negative position in our negotiations with Star Capital, as they were really looking to pay for the whole thing. And so this bridge is going to be completed within the next few weeks, no matter what. And October, okay. So the bridge is going to be completed before the red light is installed, no matter how we do this. So I don't know if I'd be inclined to do this just yet, because it's going to put us in a bad position for negotiation, knowing that they were willing to pay for it. We've already signed for it, and that's it. I would instead look at options of maybe making the bridge a one-way or something away from Hopkins Hill Road for the time being, which we're going to have to consider anyway, because even if we adopt this now, the red light's still going to happen after. So I would make a motion to table this until we meet with Star Capital, hopefully for a final time.
I'll second that.
Wow. Double seconds. Amazing. All right. So we have a motion to table. We had a second and discussion. Councilman Hool.
I think for me, one of my concerns would be that if the install was for July of 2027, what would the contracted installation cost be? Would D'Amber, if we were to order this today, is D'Amber's cost going to be the same as in July of 2027? And to Councilman Pascua's point, I can assure you that developer would not get a yes vote from me unless they paid for that light. I don't care what the negotiations were. They need us more than we need them.
Vice President Brown.
There's probably nobody more that wants that light than me, but I would say that we should not pay for it. And I told him that multiple times, that we shouldn't pay for it, but that light is sorely needed, but I say no.
And I think the other part to consider here is there will be a temporary light needed one way or the other. But again, that could become part of that same back and forth. So we want to protect ourselves. We don't want to delay. So good discussion here. So right now the motion was to table. We have a second. We are we would have to, we keep setting ourselves up for these
I
big
just want
meetings.
this resolution to be in line with whatever we negotiate with Star Capital. And we're going to have to come up with some type of solution anyway in the meantime, because this bridge is going to be done before the light goes in, whether we adopt it now or on August 25th.
Councilman Hul.
I just think we know that the light is going to be needed regardless of who's paying for it or when it's paid for. So with us knowing that we just told the developer that we weren't moving forward without the light, why would we not at least order it? Because what we're doing by tabling this until August is now putting the install from July of 2027 to August of 2027. All we're doing is pushing the light out where we know we were originally paying for this anyway and getting reimbursed because the developer wasn't willing to pay for the traffic light without planning, his next stages. So he was giving us like a gentleman's written agreement that he would reimburse us for the light, but we were always paying for the light up front.
Yeah, there's that in the fact that, he's offering us a $400,000 piece for a $20 million piece. So, Vice President Brown.
Just who's to say that he's not going to stop construction on the road because he didn't get his TSA?
The guy's coming back, what, the 28th?
We continued it.
We don't,
And the motion right now is to table. So we need to vote on that motion and go from there. Well, okay. All right. The request, Madam Clerk, roll call vote on motion to continue to August 28th. Getting packed. Do I have that date right before we go forward? Sorry. 25th? Sorry. Motion to continue to the 25th.
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi. Yeah. Councilmember Hul.
No.
Councilmember Ionati. Councilmember Copley.
No.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Vice President Brown. I'm sorry, President
Yeah,
Burgess.
well, yes. We get it.
So we got 2, 3, 4, 5 in the affirmative and 2 in the negative. Motion passes.
Okay, so we will add that to the discussion. I guess that lines that up to be discussed at the same time we're redoing the TSA. So if you're watching out there, that should probably be a part of what comes forward next time. Okay, that's item B. We're on to item C, page 5 on your agenda. Item C. We are resolution 2674.
Continuations from the DPW contracts. Kevin's here for those. We made the corrections to those 2 resolutions.
Gotcha. Thank you, Director.
Good evening. Contrary to what someone may have said, that this is an open check for Public Works. This is not buying, this is an open line item that we have in order for us, if you have a drainage issue that happens, which just happened this past week on Leader Street, 40 feet of pipe had to be replaced that we didn't have planned for. We had to get it from our stock. All this would do is to replace our stock. If a catch basin grate and frame breaks, we replace it. That's all this is for.
All right, any questions from council?
This was a continuation in regards to the stocks, correct?
Yeah, like the
Clarification for you, yes.
So can you clarify what changed?
Just all we did was itemize it so that it made it a little more understandable. You had questioned whether or not the per square yard price or per the roll price, and added to your package The last page would be the continuation of that. It shows the same items, same prices, just it goes from the unit price to a roll price that you could compare it.
Okay, so I see the erosion blanket still crossed out, 355 per roll. But I'm still not seeing how much a roll is. How much is it the 900 square feet
Correct.
at the 394 per square foot, I'm assuming?
Correct.
But it's not. So page 201 of the agenda states that erosion blanket is $355 per roll. And then page 202 of the agenda states that it is $394 per square foot and $355 per roll. Which one is it? Is it $3? What is it? Is it 39 cents per square foot?
Again, the overall price did not change from what was presented at the last meeting. All we did was where you had a question about there being,
you just broke it down.
That's all it did.
Yep.
It's the same prices. Nothing's changed from what the bid price was.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else?
And one more thing. Are these things are all filled out by the same person?
The new page?
Because the handwriting doesn't match.
Mine.
Which one is yours?
The revised one that was sent out, I took their prices that they gave on their bids and I showed it to you what that showed.
Where's the bid?
You should have already had that as part of the initial package.
But Director, just bear with me with my little bit of frustration here.
Okay.
You wrote the prices in here, but didn't provide me the bid to back it up. So I'm just supposed to take your word for it?
No, not at all.
Okay. Help me understand then.
We had submitted the initial.
And now I'm interested. Who wrote the original?
Those are the actual contractors.
Who writes them?
I don't know who, but.
It's on a Town of Coventry Department of Public Works letterhead and
That's a bid form. Warwick Water would make it out. The other company would make it out. This is what's submitted as part of the bid package. It's our form that we provide them to bid on.
But you filled the form out.
The revised one that you asked for a clarification.
The others are from them.
Who's them? Thank you. I'll never be satisfied with this, just so we can move on with what it is. I don't understand why I have a piece of paper in front of me that was written and filled out by the Director of Public Works, but the identical document that we received at the last meeting was filled out by Warwick Windwater. It's all confusing. I have no more.
Councilman, excuse me. All I did was filled it out to give you the clarification that you requested.
What I wanted was the company to attest to their pricing, not the Director of Public Works.
We haven't changed the price.
Where is it?
I'm sorry?
He converted it, I think is what we're looking for. He converted the measurements.
Back out to bid. Otherwise, we have to go back out to an entire new bid.
Could have converted it without using a bid form. Because this looks like a new bid, right? You submitted this on a form. It looks like a new bid.
I tried to make it so it would be
So
understandable.
just so everyone can see what I'm looking at, it looks like a bid. It looks like the last bid that the company filled out.
Correct. Comparing one to, so that you can compare apples and apples.
I just didn't know that you were filling out the bid forms.
That's all it was.
Mr. Manager, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth line on that document reads bid form. I'm just taking the wording off of the document. I didn't create this. It says bid form. It's the fifth line down. So if it's not a bid form, why are we using it? Because it's submitted to the public as a bid form that was filled out by the Department of Public Works. So it looks like we did our own bid, correct? But Mr. Manager, if a constituent in our audience jumped on the town council agenda that Madam Clerk sent out on Thursday or Friday, and they were looking at this packet, and this form, this bid form, was included in the packet without supplemental information, it appears as if this is a bid. There's nothing on this document that says, Mr. McGee, fill this out as clarification. It's labeled as a bid form in bold, right above the words pipes, casting, and erosion control. I can kick it till I'm blue in the face. It is what it is. I don't appreciate that process. It looks like it's a bid form, not a clarification form. It should have been more of a memo than an actual bid form.
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Capaldi.
Can I ask a question just because, I mean, this is like the second time we've gone over this. When a company fills out a bid, they don't have their own form. This is the form you give them.
Correct.
So there's no justification on who actually submitted this.
It comes from them. It's a sealed bid that's opened by the town clerk's office and myself here at the council chambers.
Well, since there's so much confusion, can't we change that? Can't they have it? Their bid should be on their letterhead, so we know who it's from.
They don't know what they're bidding on.
They
If
don't
they
know what
don't
they're
get,
bidding on.
if we don't provide them the form, they don't know what they're bidding on.
In the packet, isn't that what they're bidding on?
Yes, we provide them the bid form to fill out what their business name, this is their bid. And we compare them, and then we move forward with the approval from the council.
This is so that every company that we are comparing to are comparing apples.
So the handwritten from you, Warwick Windwater, is the company, but nowhere on this form does it say the company's name?
Page 198 is the company owner who signed it.
Yeah, you're right.
If you
Okay.
wish to withdraw it again, that's fine. So if you wish to withdraw it again, that's fine. I understand.
I find that a little condescending. My frustration is just with the process. I think that's what you're misunderstanding is the process from the DPW director never wants to change. No suggestions ever want to be heard. You hand wrote a bid form that should have never been handwritten, and we can justify it all you want. It's fine.
All right.
And if he actually,
All right. Is that it for discussion on that item? Anybody want to entertain a motion? So the bids already came in sealed. It may just be behoove of us to take the documented bids, kind of scan them, and then maybe write up a memo and like a clarifying on an Excel sheet or something. I don't know. Just throwing that out there with that, just so we can identify. So it looks like you did a conversion. Let's do the conversion on a different document. Like that. Just to avoid the look of, and then going forward, I'm just interested as to why they didn't bid it with the quantities and measurements that were on there. So we'll just make it abundantly clear.
Some of the manufacturers that provide it
Don't have,
don't provide it.
yeah.
The same.
okay. All right, so maybe in the future, we just make a memo for that, or make it a stock memo, just something we put on the buck slip or however we're transitioning the documents to say that.
use whatever form you want to use, but write on the form somewhere who's
Yeah.
filling it out, because it looks like a public bid form. My issue is not with spending the money or buying the material. My issue is with the procedure. It looks funny. It doesn't look right. The procedure I don't like. That's it.
I make a motion that we continue resolution 2026-74 till August 25th.
Second. Motion and a second. Further discussion? Right, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. We've got one more for you, I think. Item D. This was continued from last meeting. This is 2675. This was to award the purchase of plumbing services. This is David Perillo Plumbing and Heating.
Once again, this is for the services upon need. If we have something that our folks can't take care of, this brings that person in under the assigned hourly rate and the markup.
I don't think I remember why we.
There was a date was wrong on it.
Oh, okay. Looks like that got fixed. All right, motion for anybody? Are we good with this one? Or questions for the director?
No questions for the director, a question for the town manager. Is there any relation? No? Thank you. I'd make a motion to approve resolution 2026-75.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Right, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank
very
you.
much.
Okay. What's left? Do we want to do new matters before we do the ballot or? Non-docketed? Oh, maybe that makes sense. We have a suggestion to move to undocketed items. Public comment on undocketed. Come on up. He was first. Yeah, he was. Good evening.
Good evening, all.
Great.
Tom Pendergast, 6 White Rock Road, a member of the Coventry Conservation Commission. So we've been talking about watersheds a lot tonight. So what is a watershed? It's a land area where water collects and eventually flows to wherever it's going to go. Rivers, could be the bay. This one that I'm going to talk about goes to the South Fork of the Patuxent River. It may contain sensitive attributes or historical or environmental concerns. The Anthony Brook watershed is 236 acres, and it's bounded in the north by Jervis Street, the east by Boston Street, the west by Driftwood Drive, and the south by the Patuxent River. It essentially sits between the Ice House on 117 and Jervis Street, and it's bounded roughly by 116, but it's the west side of 116 as well. So this watershed drains into the South Fork of the Patuxent River and empties into that river at the Anthony Mills, which is now the Lofts. In this watershed, the town owns 2 lakes. They own 2 significant dams and 5 acres of woodland that now contains 2 town paths for recreation purposes. So why is this important? Well, there's development that could be planned based on a sale of land. This area is the last undeveloped watershed in eastern Coventry. We take a look at Tioga, well, developed. Mishnock being developed. Anything west of that is western Coventry, right? It provides flood control to 2 significant level dams to Washington Street, Route 117. It's a water sanctuary for marsh for birds and plants, and it's a historical area for buildings, including the remnants of the Capwell lumber mill in the 1700s, the Anthony Mills tool making in 1805, and the Ice House in the 1920s. And if you walk this property, you'll see remnants of all 3 within this area. So it's we're talking about a new land sale in town. It's a 14-acre parcel Anthony Brook Watershed, it was recently sold. Private owner, land sale, has the right to do with his property whatever he wants to do from a sale perspective. Rumor has it that there will be 62 condominiums moving into this parcel of 14 acres with sewer connections to be built. So past efforts for protection, past building efforts in town have relied predominantly on the TRC and the Planning Commission for review and approval. These town bodies may not have the knowledge or the experience to understand ramifications of buildings in such a sensitive area. Future efforts for protection. The Land Trust and the Conservation Commission worked together to look at this parcel, to go out with a veteran who you probably know, Mr. Gratian, who uses that area for retreat and solace. It's gorgeous back there, and he gave us a guided tour of the area. He helped us better understand the value and the history of this property. And the Land Trust had moved to purchase, which just did not happen because of the quick sale and maybe other circumstances that we don't need to discuss. But if changes are made to the town charter to allow for plan reviews, a broader perspective could be gained on where we're building in the future. So watch for these building plans for the Anthony Brook watershed in the future, because the Conservation Commission will certainly be looking at it and working extensively with the Land Trust in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Good explanation. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Like I said earlier, pardon my voice, maybe a little bit of shaking. Scott Guthrie, 31 Maplewood Drive. I lived here for 69 years. My parents brought me up to be honest, straightforward, and truthful, and helpful. And when someone says something about me, I kind of take it to heart. The agenda was changed tonight to allow political speech here. But when it was my turn, it was turned off and I had to go sit down. So I get to come up now because that's undocumented and you can't say a word, can you? So here we go. We talked about all the hard things that a candidate can go through, and I've been through them all. You know, attacks, people making fake Facebook pages of me, out of the State House, and they were caught, and a policy advisor was fired because of it. I've seen where people make accusations against themselves to make themselves look good. And when I said that, it kind of piqued up a couple of people's attention. Then I was asked to sit down. So I also brought up that someone on the council said something about me. And that person said, well, prove where you said it. Okey doke. Here it comes. My brother told me years ago that computers were going to end mankind, and I'm starting to think that he was right. We have no journalism. We have no newspapers. We have social media, and everybody seems to believe social media. And you know, if they do, they do. Most of the time they shouldn't. 88% of the time, the person that's behind the keyboard isn't the person behind the keyboard. It's somebody using some other name here or there. So, the real motive, I believe this is talking about me attacking Mrs. Boyer. I have no reason to attack her. She's my opponent. I have no problem with that. I'll do my work. She'll do her work. That's politics. The real motive, I strongly believe a town council candidate from another district fed this narrative to the blog because I refused to vote for them for an upcoming appointment. I have text messages proving they've led to disparaging info to this exact page before, and surprisingly, they were quick to like this new attack post against me. I have asked each and every one of you, with the exception of Councilwoman Capaldi, for your appointment to the council to finish her term. I have asked each and every one of you. Speaking of that candidate, now we know who the candidate is. All right, it's me. I'm being accused. Speaking of that candidate, instead of manufacturing fake scandals, maybe they should let the taxpayers know that they are the one who pushed to remove Coventry's financial town meeting while on the Charter Review Commission. Now this person wants a seat on the town council. Can you only imagine? Now we know who it is. It's me, that I am being accused by someone who sat in that room for 23 weeks in a row, writing charter language with 9 other people. So, what do? We get the minutes. And this is a town council meeting minutes on July 25th of 2022, page 18. If you want to watch it on the video, go to July 25th and go to the 5-hour mark, because it was a long meeting for the council that night. We weren't there as the Charter Commission. And this was under President Dixon's watch. And Solicitor Gorham's watch. So what the proposed ballot question, shall section 818 through A through D be amended to provide that if a supermajority, a majority plus 1 vote of the town council shall vote in favor of adopting the town budget, after the public hearing, the budget shall become final. But if there shall be no supermajority, then the town clerk shall schedule an all-day referendum at which the voter shall be able to vote for or against the budget. So that was a question that was discussed. That's not the question that was put forward by the Charter Commission that Councilman Copley sat on. So under that, in the minutes, it says, Councilmember Lima, in the background information and research she did on budget process in the other 38 cities and towns across Rhode Island in preparation to propose the ballot question. She commented her intention was to have a conversation on budgets to work and to lay a foundation on which to base decisions for the future of the town of Coventry. Councilmember Shockley proposed an amendment to the question to vote between the 2 town manager proposed budgets and clarified these are the 2 budgets that were proposed by the town council and not approved by the supermajority. The town manager, Marchant, commented, this is not part of the proposal by the Charter Review Commission. It is a new proposal articulated by Councilmember Lima to encourage members of the public to engage in public hearings with the council about their preferences. The town manager acts as a staff person to perform the legwork on behalf of the town council, who recommends the changes to the budget. Councilwoman Lima commented, she put supermajority in the wording to indicate that there are more people on the board than is required elsewhere. Manager Marchant commented that the town council will always need a majority vote to move forward with a potential budget to adopt. And it goes on a little longer. So, to the gentleman on the council that accused me, Mr. Who, I had absolutely nothing to do with taking the financial town meeting away from the voters of the town of Coventry. That was done through an amended presentation to the council. I wasn't even at the meeting. We had a different proposal that would have given people 2 shots to come into this room and speak to the council. We knew that we were adding seats to the council. My original thoughts as the chairperson was I was more interested in having 7 individual council seats to get more representation to the western end of Coventry. They do, as it stands, have both the townwide and Councilman Pasqua. So they get 3. But we were trying to make the districts a little bit smaller, easier for a voter to reach out to their representative and their representative reach back. So, I said earlier that saying something like that could border on a libel. It made me kind of angry. But I can forgive people for things, but I won't forget about them. I won't carry this any forward. And I hope that Mr. Hool, you retract your statement and don't shake your head no at me, because maybe you'll get a libel suit. So, you're going to have an attitude. You're going to give me an attitude, and you don't want that. So, my apologies to my opponent for something I didn't do. I hope she really finds out what goes on. And, I know she's got a couple of people that don't like her. Believe me, don't like her, don't like, the practice that she does there. The other things that I used to have to go through, you probably remember through the years running in different offices, I had those big red signs in town. There's no way you couldn't miss them. Well, people used to steal the sandbags, holding them things down, and they were flying around on Hope Furnace Road like helicopters. So if you want to talk about people attacking people, they attack in all kinds of different ways. Be honest, be truthful, and be helpful. That's how I want to be. And one last thing I'll say is I did listen to Mrs. Boyer's radio conversation. I think you should all listen to it. She's got it on her page, and maybe we can figure out maybe if we can get some of the fertilizer from her land, because her land grew from 1.16 acres to the 3 acres that she claims that she has on the radio last week.
All right. We'll try to keep it non-political and personal attacks. Everybody will get a fair shot on this. Yeah.
I think I want to just caution the council. I think, and I know that needed to be kind of somebody some leadway, but I think the council should try to rein in these comments. Councilman Who, or any other councilman, really, they shouldn't be attacked in the council chamber. This isn't the place for that to happen. I just.
In point of order, there's not 1 ounce of evidence that constituent brought forward that has his name on anything that I've ever written, anything that I've ever spoken on. It's all hearsay. Unfortunate, and he's entitled to his opinions, and I appreciate what Mr. Guthrie has done for the town, but that's false.
Mr. Solicitor, when I was running 2.5 years ago, I wasn't even allowed to wear my button, vote for Capaldi. So I really don't think, I know it's, undocumented, but I don't think we should take political battles into the council meeting. I don't know what rules it falls under, but I highly doubt that decorum, I don't think we can do this.
On is the rule is that if somebody comes up during public comment and it makes any kind of accusation against the councilman's entitled to respond, but the chairman or the president can call them out of order.
If I'm entitled to respond to that, then I'd like a moment to respond. Because Mr. Guthrie stated that I said that a candidate. Well, let me remind Mr. Guthrie that everyone sitting up here is a candidate. We're all running during election season. So if Mr. Guthrie took that and interpreted that to use his own name, that's a Mr. Guthrie problem, not a Councilman Hool problem. We're all from
All
another
right.
district.
We should not be yelling across or anything like that. I think we have the next person up for public comment, Mr. Riley.
Steve Riley, 5 Osprey Drive. Sorry to change the subject.
Good one. It's a good one.
If I could get back to, I guess from an undocketed standpoint, I'm just going to talk about your vote tonight, which unanimously affirmatively approved a generic proposal for a 9-point plan in the amount of $50,500, which basically sums to the compensation, if you looked at the proposal, plus 2 additional anticipated meetings. So you've agreed to a lake management plan that is not to exceed $50,500. You heard Ms. Broadbent get up here in terms of talking about it, and I respect her life's experience in the water marine industry throughout her career. She suggested that, well, okay, well, maybe something might be a little different than this, and almost from a rob from Peter to pay for Paul to stay within this $50,500. I don't come up here to talk. I don't come up here to hear myself talk. Any of my letters, emails to you folks have been substantiated with what I believe fact and supported by the appropriate documentation for you to go do the legwork. There's a lot of legwork involved. My point here is that you've agreed to a generic proposal, which to me is much like what happened in the whole redevelopment plan process, where we just checked off business to comply with the blighted and substandard legislation that was a necessity to get this redevelopment plan passed. The problem with that is that I've identified a number of areas here that are going to cost money. We don't know all the stormwater outfalls on the pond, because the only thing that was done was a landward work, and only on properties that were publicly accessible or access had been granted. We need a hydrologic study, i.e. a boat going around the pond. This whole idea of a recreational carrying capacity, as Ms. Broadbent said, there are lots of studies on this, or a few studies, I believe were her words. There are more, but if you analyze a traffic light or a street for traffic, you have to put somebody on the street, and you have to monitor it. It takes dollars. My point is I've identified several problems here that are going to require funding. I would have expected that you would have at least suggested that TRC look at this and consider whether that's going to impact the bottom line, $50,500. Back at the last council meeting, everybody, I want to say the question came up, how much does the lake management plan cost? Well, okay, maybe TRC's given you a number that piggybacks off of the work that they're already doing for this 5 lake management plan. The problem with that is that each water body is different. You can look at certain things. There's a lake up in the northern part of Rhode Island where when they looked into it, it was actually a feeder lake that was contributing to the problem in that lake. So every water body is different, and the conditions around the water body are different and unique, thereby requiring a specific set of conditions. Finally, the redevelopment plan, which this council or the redevelopment agency paid $130,000 for, had to define the arrested and blight conditions and the water quality issues. That's given. TRC ought to be able to look at that, save on some of those initial, I forget the words that how they referred to it, but yeah, the given is there. What is TRC going to do to address those in their 9-element EPA plan? So I'm this has been a roller coaster because I didn't expect you people to just approve this without, I just sat here listening to how we, went back and forth with Star Resolute and the negotiation, and yet we're approving a generic proposal. I don't get it. But I thank you for listening to my grumbles.
All right, in chambers, anybody else on undocketed?
Steve Oskey, 8 Raven Boulevard, in Coventry. And I'm just bringing a topic to your attention that I think you may be getting a memo from the Planning Commission. They're doing a review of different, I guess, processes that they have. We are sending a resolution to the council trying to support or actually initiate the requirement for any new building from, I think we have it at 6 houses, it might even be 3 houses or more, but where water is not available for cisterns to be placed that are at least 30,000 gallon cisterns. Basically, right now, there is no rule. People put in a 15,000 gallon cistern and they don't hold a lot of water. Their 30,000 gallon cisterns help lower the insurance rates for houses that are in the area of these cisterns. They count as a water source. They count as having the same thing as a fire hydrant. Some of the, events that happened recently where, people have had a fire, we've run out of water, go into a smaller tank. So that is something, and from what I've read, it's been in a comprehensive community plan update. And they said their next steps are that town council is supposed to get their package from them, and that's going to be one of the items that are going to be in it. We look forward to trying to get this put through. And the only other thing that I would say about these cisterns are what has happened sometimes, a builder may be required to put in 2 15,000 gallon cisterns, and they'll put in one 30,000 gallon cistern. And that really shouldn't be either. It should be, if they need to be separated because of distance or whatever the reason is, they should have the 2 at the larger size. But it is, something that we fought because we've had, without having a rule or anything in zoning, we've had people build what we've requested. They come to our department and we ask for a $30,000 cistern. They go back to the town and say, well, no, there's no requirement. We don't have to follow that. So it is something that should get in the books, and especially if you're getting some building down Nooseneck Hill Road type of stuff. It's not just all in Western, and some of the developments going in off Town Farm or whatever, could use it also. So anyway, thank you.
Would that go in our charter? Zoning, and it wouldn't be go in our charter either for.
Yeah, I think what the gentleman's suggestion is we may need to make sure we tag that in the comp plan too. Yeah, that's what he was saying. Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll make sure it's in there when we get it.
Yeah, just a heads up on it anyway. Thank you.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right, next up, anyone in chambers on undocketed items? Hello?
Hi. Again. Okay, first I would like to say thank you to Alyssa Capaldi. I know your father sat on this council before you, and he wasn't on the council. I thought he was. Oh, that's what it was. Oh, well, I still wanted to say thank you anyways. I know yeah, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, thank you for your time. I've enjoyed you on the council, I have to say. When you were able to speak more freely, I should say. You're welcome. I also, before I get into to address my issue, I would like to address an issue that I witnessed here tonight, and that was the treatment of the DPW Director, Kevin McGee, from Councilman Huell, about the drainage pipes, really. I thought it was completely inappropriate, and it happened to be during a council meeting where an award was given to him. Now, he did sit on this council, and he does deserve respect. He's done a lot for this town. He's worked for this town for a really long time. He manages our DPW. I don't know if you could do a better job. Fill out an application. I'm sure he'll be retiring soon because he's been in the position for a while. So with that said, he's not the only one that deserves more respect. Residents deserve respect also. So I would like to address the recent gross misconduct of Councilman Huell towards me. It involves slanderous, defamatory, and libelous behavior. It's discriminatory. Your behavior is harassing, and it is considered.
Just had a warning from the solicitor on this.
This is
How do
my.
we-
Yeah.
I know, it's new to me. I'm
Well,
trying to just be
This
fair.
violates my First Amendment rights.
The personal attacks should be allowed, and it's up to the president to call them out of order. This isn't the place for that.
Yeah, if we can make it not a personal
This is not personal attack. I'm addressing behavior. And it's inappropriate, and I'm addressing violations of my First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. And I know this is discriminatory, and I know it violates my First Amendment rights. I'm the only one he's behaved this way with. I'm the only one he interacts with like this. Other people oppose his opinions as well, and he continuously attacks me. This behavior in violation of my freedom of speech, it inhibits the democratic processes and the diversity of thought. Residents, myself included, have the right to speak our minds, share ideas and beliefs, and express ourselves without a constant narrative control. The whole purpose of sitting on council is to represent residents while listening to concerns and ideas, not to censor or stifle them. To say normal people shouldn't be allowed on town council is not only discriminatory, but it boasts an immense inflated sense of superiority. Our government is comprised of normal, everyday people, just like the ones sitting next to you. This demonstration of democratic backsliding creates division, unfair power, and a loss of citizens' voices. And it needs to change. Thank you.
Right, anyone else in chambers?
President should not allow any attacks on.
That's the thing. I mean, it's personal and then it got general. So this is new to me. So when it got general, I figured that was allowable, but please interject at any point. It's inappropriate. Does we get a rebuttal time or?
I don't, and I think to clear the air, I don't mind that. I don't know if her last name is pronounced Sargent. Mine is pronounced Hool, like pool with an H. I don't mind that like personal attacks, I signed up for that. It is what it is. Her and I had a disagreement on Facebook. She didn't like that I responded back. I'm entitled to freedom of speech. Just because I signed up to be a politician doesn't mean that I give up my right to say how I feel. That's what the democratic process is about. We're not all supposed to agree. She may not have liked or, an interpretation of something that I said. And I am unapologetically me. And as Miss Sargent, is unapologetically her. We're entitled to act how we feel. Not everyone has to like that. I think that that's what democratic process is about. I do engage with quite a few people on Facebook. I actually thought you and I had some good initial discussions. So I'm entitled. I think I'll always respond. I have been dragged through the mud in regards to personal, professional, whether or not I'm married or pay taxes in town, or like, so it's always these, and then it gets spinned as if I'm trying to control some narrative. But Miss Sargent has had the mic and she's had her ability to comment on Facebook freely and without repercussions, besides me rebuting back or saying how I feel. And if
You're a
that's
public official.
interpret-
I'm a tax-paying resident. It is not okay for you.
It is.
It is
We
not
gotta
okay
stop.
for
We
you to
can't do
attack
this
me.
back and forth like this. We
The
just,
American flag
gotta
that sits
be,
behind you
we're gonna have to
means
be, trying to
My
be fair
words
here,
mean
trying to
more.
be fair. I get it. I get it. You have a right to speak to a certain point, but if it gets personal, we gotta stop it. Anyone else in chambers? All right. The umpire's already warned both teams here, so next person's getting tossed.
I thought that we operated under the rule of undocumented comments. There can be no comment back from the council. Am I right? Is that?
Yeah, I got to defer to our solicitor on this stuff. This is new territory for us. Past councils have had screaming matches up here, and I really don't want that to happen either way. So I'm trying to be fair because that's what I'm trying to avoid is once one person says something, the other person should get a shot. It was just not the time and place for it.
So it's okay for us to get attacked and
I don't think it's okay for anybody to personally attack anybody, and we can't do politics.
not.
There's a fine line. Sometimes people were riding it pretty well, and then sometimes it got crossed. So I'm just trying to call balls and strikes here and not give anybody an advantage. But at a certain point, it's,
Agreed.
9:11, and we still got a ton of business to do.
I agree, and it should be adhered to that nobody attack each other. But facial movements and things like that, and don't start. And this is what we have to put up with as taxpayers. So let's see if we can get that to stop and have everybody keep that stoic political face that they need to keep during public comment like this, when you're not supposed to speak, at least act, accordingly.
All right, I see a hand on Zoom. Oh, you said you'd be back. Mr. Nunes, welcome. Name and address for the record, please.
Hello.
Hi. We
Hello.
can hear you. Hello, we can hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello.
Right. Why don't we, can you hear us? How's that?
I can.
Hey, there you go. So go ahead. Name and address for the record.
Okay, Jason Nunes, Fourview Road. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Scott and thank you for identifying a developer for profit, not as an out-of-town donating to help the town achieve its housing goal. And I don't think any other council members has ever brought up that point, and I think I've stressed it in a few meetings prior. So thanks again, Scott. Second of all, I'd like to just ask about the Lake Tahoe Gate. We've been kicking this around since March and April, and I'm told that it's in the hands of the Army Corps engineers. And okay, so now it's been 3-4 months. You would think there should be some kind of an update at this point.
I provided it in my weekly update, August 21st, we should have the permit.
Okay, so the next meeting, I think, is like August 25th. Are we going to keep kicking the can again, or we're going to have some concrete dates?
August 21st, we should have the permit from them.
Okay, thank you.
You good?
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else on Zoom? I just can't see. Looks like a hand. Was that the same one? Oh, got one more. Cheryl, please come on in, unmute yourself, and name and address for the record.
Cheryl Kane, 185 Reed Schoolhouse Road. I'm going to give you guys a break tonight, but I will be coming forward and I will be bringing up again addressing illegal customary home occupations in the door kennels. Today, when I was driving down on Route 117, there's like 4 businesses just popping up. I've been there for a few minutes. Well, not a few minutes, for about a few months now. Auto repair shop, some other things, but I'll just send you emails. Can I do that? Send you emails instead of pictures?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't want to say too much, but yes.
Okay, that'll be great. Thank you so much and have a nice evening. I really appreciate you all.
Anyone else? Undocketed public comment. All right. That is it for that section. Back on, let's see. We've got item E. I'm sorry. Item E, yeah. Page 5 of your agenda. This is the deal with the ballot questions. If we can head there next. So just a little setup on this one. Council previously voted to add a question on the ballot item. On the ballot for the municipal fire department item, that was a vote of intention, I believe, to kind of say, hey, this is, we want to hear from the people on the topic. Once we voted that forward, the next iteration is what exactly that language should look like. And that is what is before us now. We had some options given to us with different, results based on those options. It appears this is just another step in the process. So should people vote yes on this, it would go to a next step where we'd have to actually ask for the general law authority from the assembly. So that's where we're at tonight. And then the discussion can include amendments, thoughts, different language, things like that. So just wanted to set it up for us. That's where we're at. Anything else from town manager or solicitor on that?
So the 2 questions that council agreed to put on the ballot is the real estate conveyance tax. If you want to take that first, if you agree with that language, we can move forward with that one. And the second one is the ballot question. I know the solicitor gave us 4 options. I believe we've looked at the language and may want to make some amendments to it. So basically, it's just agreeing on what language we want to proceed with to the Board of Canvassers Monday night for their vote to pass on to the Secretary of State.
All right, pleasure of the council. How do we feel on conveyance tax? Yeah, get that one out of the way. Any edits, questions, comments? Go ahead, Councilman Hull.
I do think the land trust is valuable in the town of Coventry. At the same time, I understand that there's a lot of hands in the small portion of the per dollar tax revenue the town actually gets and keeps. So I do think that we need to propose a reduction in this, but I would maybe suggest a 25%, break it in half. I do think, to Miss Sargent's credit, taking it from 50% to 10% is a little drastic. Hearing the work that they've done, Mr. Gratian is in my district. I have spoken with him in depth, as is Mr. Pendergast. So I would make a motion to approve this with an amendment to take the reduction from 50% to 25%.
Just as an update, Director Savetti did a breakdown over the last 5 years of what that number actually is. So 2021 was 303,000, 22, 324,000, 23, 278,000, 24, 261,000, 25, 339,000, and 26, 454,000.
And I think those numbers are fair because as the property values increase, the conveyance tax also increases. Again, it's just something that I'm familiar with being in real estate. However, at the same time, the land value that the land trust would have to purchase has also increased. So I think we have to take all of that into consideration. So while I think that they just missed that Benoit Street development, I would encourage the land trust to look at their procedures on how to speed their processes up, especially in the market that we're in. If it's even possible, I don't know. But that's my motion. So to me, it didn't matter about the money because the money is going to be equivalent to what they're purchasing. We can't give them $100,000 if a plot of land is $500,000. They'll never be able to buy it. At that point, just take all the money away if we're not going to give them enough money to actually function. So that's 50% to 25.
We have a motion. I think we need to deal with that before as the motion hasn't been seconded yet. But
Point of order. I would ask the Councilman Hul to make a motion to amend the proposal first and then we can discuss the.
then we can discuss, yeah.
If the amendment passes, then it can move as amended.
I will withdraw my original motion and amend my motion to amend the proposed ballot question for the real estate conveyance tax to reflect no less than 25%. I was looking for a word, but
motion.
I have a question. The town,
We can't.
I can't ask a question?
Not yet.
I have I'll second it, but I have a question.
Okay. Well, now that it's been seconded, we can open discussion, and Councilwoman Capaldi.
Town manager, that money that you were talking about over the past few years, that's for them to purchase the land. Have they ever come to you and say, we don't have enough money. We really want to buy this. We need more money. Have they always used that money? And is it going over year with extra money moving from one budget to the next?
They have 3.2 million right now in their account. So that there hasn't been an issue since I've been here that they haven't had the money to pursue a property.
Okay.
But I can't speak for them.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
I'll let Councilman Pasco go first.
Go ahead, Councilman Pasco.
How do we compare to other cities and towns as far as our allocation from conveyance tax to land trust? What are we, where are we in that?
The only one I know is Johnston, and they give 0.
So this is roughly 300 a year on average, and we're discussing where it goes. Right now, 100% has been land trust, and the question is how much of that?
50%.
I'm sorry,
50 stays with the town.
All right, so, look at who it is. Thank you,
Just to
Director.
answer the councilman's question, as you know, my past experience, I've audited a number of communities throughout the state, and I haven't seen many communities, I don't think I've seen any, that strictly restrict the conveyance tax towards the land trust. Most communities that are allocating money to a land trust do a single appropriation from their budget annually. So you may get them allocate 100,000 per year. It's generally not tied to a conveyance tax. My understanding that the ordinance that was passed in Coventry restricted the money. There's no state law or anything that requires land conveyance tax to go to a land trust. So that I believe is specific to Coventry.
So, and that's interesting. So instead of basing it just on the revenue, maybe get a 10-year projection of how many acres are preserved now, what your goal is, and, how much money do you need to achieve that goal on the expenditure side as opposed to just funding it.
Right. You could easily put an allocation, like you said, put a capital project plan in place or a capital development plan in place, see how much you need to fund that, and put an appropriation in your annual general fund budget, saying you're going to allocate 200,000 to them annually, 100,000, whatever that number is, and 100% of the conveyance tax stays in the general budget.
Yeah. And as written now, this doesn't limit what we could do in additional funding. It just limits this mechanism. We could still make a regular general fund appropriation, whatever kind of appropriation.
Correct.
if there were a capital project that they needed after the 3.2 million is chewed up.
That's correct. So if you kept it at the 10%, my understanding by the way the language is, it's saying no less than 10%. So you could do more in any given year.
Interesting. Okay. Right. Okay. Thanks for the clarification. Yeah, that's a good question. Is that interest on that account?
Interest bearing account?
At this point, it has not been. At this point, it's always been carried within the general fund as a due from. Again, there's interpretation issue of whether it should be interest bearing, non-interest bearing. Again, it's been treated the same way since I got here. We continued with the way it's been treated. With state law, my understanding, and this solicitor firm, state law, if you have a legal land trust formed, so a separate legal entity, separate nonprofit corporation, that money would be given to them and then they would invest it, they would maintain it. Right now, it's just the capital projects fund of the town. It's not a separate legal entity as far as the IRS is concerned, state, nonprofit corporation, et cetera.
Councilman?
I think one of the questions that I would have is why has the land trust not spent the 3 million when the town of Coventry has so much development? It's like
It's tough. There's some folks over
Yeah,
there.
I'd love
that
the
are-
education
that's
on it,
squirming,
please.
but yeah.
Because it
it's not
sounds like a lot
allowed.
of money. It's just like,
I
what
don't
can
know.
we do with it?
Okay, that's okay. Yes, please. So, yeah, maybe give us a quick run through of everything you guys were.
Lynn Carlson, 12 Old Mishnock Highway, Chairman of the Coventry Land Trust. Yeah, we haven't been able to spend this money because we've always been told that we're only allowed to use these funds for purchasing property. We've never been told before that we were allowed to use this money to maintain the property and do other things with it, such as pay for appraisals. So over time, this money has just sat there because we haven't been able to make use of it.
But there's a parcel, there's 97 acres for sale in Western Coventry for $3 million.
We walked that property the other day.
But there's a lot of vacant lots that are on MLS that are fully active and ready for buyers that aren't 3 million in Coventry. I'm just curious then on your process.
Our process. We walk, so if we hear about a property that's for sale, we identify who the person in charge is, the owner or the realtor. We will contact them and see if we can get a site walk. Once we go on a site walk of the property, we'll then score it according to a criteria that we've developed over the years to figure out whether it meets the mission of the land trust. We score it based on size, whether it is prime soil for farmland, whether it's protection of groundwater, surface water, wildlife habitat protection. So we have a scoring system. If the property scores above a certain threshold, then we will ask for an appraisal to be done. And at that point, everything in the past has stopped because we haven't been able to pay for afford appraisals.
I'm just not sure how your process will ever be successful in an open market against everyday investors that are able to not have, why would you not be putting an offer in on something contingent upon A, B, and C, or contingent upon it passing certain soil contingencies, or you can place an offer on a property contingent upon whatever contingency you want to create that locks that property up with your due diligence period, is what we call it with the buyers. Because if you have to set up an appointment with whoever the seller is, and then you're telling the seller that you're going to need an appraisal, at that point, we're weeks in and that property's sold. So as someone who does this for a living, I think your process, I'd love to help you. How do you speed it up? I'll stay out of it. Trust me, they'll get me on it.
I'm coming at this as
But
chairman.
use my knowledge for free. Take it.
Okay, thank you.
Because
We
I want
have
you
a-
guys to be successful, because I don't think, I think that property with John Gratian on Benoit Street, you guys could have moved on that. It could have been contingent upon something.
As fast as we could.
Yeah, understandable.
And
I'm
quite
not saying it's any fault to
I
you.
think that there might have been some discussion with the developer prior to our even knowing that that property was for sale.
Oh, most likely, but the moment you put it in writing, it forces the seller's hands to at least see it.
Yep.
Just my advice to try to help and understand the process.
We would much like to have a better process.
Yeah.
But this, no, we're volunteers.
Oh, understood.
Know
Yep.
anything about this.
I'm happy to answer any questions
We've
that I can.
always followed the same protocol year after year after year. But now we're reaching a critical point where, and again, we were never able to draw down that money because we never be able to get past the appraisal process.
All right, so just to bring us back to earth here, we are talking about the ballot question tonight. Sounds like we have a lot to learn on this topic as a town in general. Sounds like there's some processes, to be successful you guys would need. But as far as this goes tonight, Councilman Pasqua?
Just a question, which is going to help me make a decision on how to word this ballot question. You talk about a scoring system that you guys employ. Is that something that you internally come up with, or is this something that you're bound by some type of legislation with, or where does that come from?
Well, we came up with it internally after reviewing many other scoring sheets that are employed by organizations like the Nature Conservancy, the Audubon Society. That's a standard way that they determine how they're going to purchase property.
Okay.
Put conservation easements on them. So we adopted ours internally based on a review of those types of organizations' processes.
Understood. Thank you for all your work on the land trust.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, so we're mixing a couple of different issues, but it's all new to most of us, so this is interesting. We don't want to certainly hamstring the day-to-day efforts. The decision at hand here is not for us to decide, but to allow the voters to vote on whether or not we should change the mechanism. So, but of course, that would be influenced by the wording of the question. So that's where we're at. We had a motion to amend. All right, so that's a good point. So right now we've got a motion to amend and from 50 to 25. Oh, I'm sorry. Right. Yeah. We can do a roll call anytime anyone asks. But this is on the amendment. Unless there's more discussion, everybody good before we vote on just the amendment? Okay. Madam Clerk with the roll, please.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi,
Yes.
Councilmember Hul,
Yes.
Councilmember Ionati,
Yes.
Councilmember Copley,
Yes.
Vice President Brown,
Yes.
President Verducci.
Yes.
7 in the affirmative, motion passes.
Okay, so we passed the amendment. Now we are back on the act. To word the question.
I would make a motion to for the proposed ballot question as amended.
I second that.
Motion and a second. Anybody on the question? Any more discussion? All right. Roll call on that too, please.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi,
Yes.
Councilmember Hul,
Yes.
Councilmember Ionati, Councilmember Copley,
Yes.
Vice President Brown,
Yes.
President Verducci.
Yes.
7 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
All right. That was the easy one, we guess. Okay. No jokes. We're on the next item. I'm sorry, the previous item, item A. This is for the municipal fire department ballot question. So as we kind of mentioned, we moved the idea to the ballot. We have authorized the fact that ourselves wanted us to know what the people were thinking on this. Now comes exactly what we were just kind of discussing. How do we word it so people have an idea of what we're actually trying to get from them. Councilwoman Capaldi.
Yeah, the changes that I suggested, the public does not know. So I kind of want to just state this because I think it's very important that after the title, it would say a vote to approve would direct the town council to pursue the fire and emergency medical services department in consolidation and to seek necessary legislation. It is not, if you vote yes on this to approve, it's not approving the municipal fire department. I want people to know this. This is just to allow the council to do their due diligence with legislation to move forward to see, the process and what is needed. A vote to reject would leave the current fire district structured unchanged. So I just wanted the public to know that because they don't see what we changed here. We bring it up front so everyone understands it, because once people get down on the ballot question in the statement of purpose, it gets kind of confusing. So I wanted to put it up there, what approve means and what reject means.
Did you want to say something, Ms. Solicitor?
Just think for the record and for the public's benefit, I think Councilman Capaldi's comments relate to a version 1 that's entitled Bear Authorization.
Okay.
That's the document that.
Yeah, we're on version 1. I mean, it was the first one. So- Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
There are several versions.
Thank you.
gotcha. Did you have some? Councilman Copley.
The council voted to put it on the ballot, but what did you specify what ballot would be in all, this upcoming ballot on the November election or a ballot? For the general election. Is the council opposed at all for doing an all-day referendum for this, a 3-day referendum for this, to really clarify for our voters what they're going to vote for? I would like to see some numbers in the question, and I really, great that it's going to voters. I think there should be a municipal fire department, but I think a lot of voters go to the poll and there's so many other things going on that they lose sight. I really want them to go there and focus on that one thing, which is this municipal fire department, with numbers to it. So I have a question for Mr. Savetti, if I could just ask. On the back of your memo you put out for May 21st, 2026, it says on the back, it says 2025 estimated tax roll, estimated tax as a town department, an evaluation of, says $300,000, that's an evaluation of a home, correct? Okay, so if a home's worth $500,000, your estimated tax town department, your property tax would be an estimate, $9,000.47 for that property?
Yes, I don't have that right in front of me, but if that's what it says, that's correct.
Okay, so this is why it's important, and I'll use me as an example. I brought my taxes for 2026, 2027, and I pay $6,530. I looked at my fire tax, and I pay around $800. So let's just say it's $7,400. According to that number in the back, my taxes will go up $1,600 something for the municipal fire department. I personally would like to see a number like that on there so people, whether they want to vote for it or don't, at least they can individualize it for each person to look at it and say, I don't care if my taxes go up that much. I want a municipal fire department, and let them just make that decision based on the numbers for their individual household. I just think it's kind of disingenuous for a question to be put out there with no numbers to it. And I'm just wondering if we could maybe, as a council, really work together to get a question on a ballot, either that's, I know the general election is coming up, but if it can't be on that, maybe on a 3-day referendum, to really, there's no excuse for anybody to say, well, I didn't know about it, I didn't vote, I didn't, like, it's there, you do it, here are the numbers, you do what you want, what's best for you, think that's going to be best for you and your family in the town. And that way it's on the voters. And I can look at the mayor and say, we, as a council, we did our due diligence. We gave you all information. You have everything. And if it passes, it passes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least we did our full due diligence with numbers and everything so the voters can have the best information to make the most sound decision for themselves. That's all I'm asking for.
Did you have anything else? All right, so this is kind of developing. We're all trying to figure out how we understand this, and I'll let the solicitor correct me if I'm wrong. So this vote would basically give us the direction from the town, which would allow us to go to the next step, which would be have the assembly do the enabling legislation. And I think what you're referring to actually would still have to happen again. So there would actually be another vote. So this vote alone wouldn't enact a department. I'm calling it more of a poll because it's no binding authority on it, which the solicitor pointed out. It's more of and that's why I think we were looking at the simplicity of the question versus the specifics. In simple terms, the question is, do you want the council to now approach the assembly to ask them to change those laws? And then if they say yes, we then would have a referendum and it would be off cycle. So it would be its own.
Okay. And then if that goes forward, if it passes this, then we can have all these numbers put in and make it a big question and really educate everybody in big meetings and all that. And that's just good to know because I don't think a lot of people understood that mechanism. Like, that's why I'm asking this question. I think a lot of people just said, well, if you're going to vote yes on this, then we're just going to get a municipal fire department. I see there's some other safety mechanisms set up to have some other meetings and other votes that still has to pass, correct, Mr. Igliozzi?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And that's what I was trying to say. I don't know if I said it not clearly. And unfortunately, you missed the email because you just got on now. There was several emails that came over the past day, which explained that. So I'm assuming, did it go to Councilman?
Have access to his email, so I apologize at the council.
So maybe you could send it.
Yeah, and it's okay, but this is why I asked these questions because I just want a clarification myself and obviously for people at District 5 and other people who might be watching the meeting later on, just like at least they know that I asked and they know there's other things that have to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. No, this is kind of as we dig into it. That original law required a lot of mechanisms. There was just a lot of things tied to each other. So, but actually that'll be in your stuff as soon as you sign on because they've been in your box anyway. So now that you have access to that, we'll let you start right on that tonight. Councilman Hull.
Thank you, Council President. I want to make a motion to send version 1 with an amendment forward. Version 1, I thought was the cleanest, most direct, and the most easily understood. Some of the amendments that I would ask would just be verbiage. The original one that was sent out with the agenda packet, it's like second to the last paragraph that talks about consolidation. The word dissolution should be added in there because consolidation doesn't dissolve and it still leaves the fire districts, if they want to go sell T-shirts and try to tax their constituents above and beyond what the town of Coventry would be collecting, I think that becomes a murky water there, and especially with the some of the pushback from some of the maybe fire districts, they may use a mechanism like that to end us up in litigation, which is the last thing that we need, especially if the residents of Coventry, whether they vote to approve or deny this. One of the other things I thought was pretty important is when we talked about the 4% annual property tax levy, it was not very clear in there that this was a one-time ask, that this would not be a consistent year after year. The town would need to pierce that 4% cap in order to take in or actually deliver out the taxes due, but it would also be receiving the income. So I will make a motion to send, well, I think the motion has to be an amendment first. I'm going to amend version 1, the revised version that adds the dissolution, and then the one time, should I read it, Mr. Solicitor? So the Mr. Solicitor did send this over as a revised. We received that after some discussion that I asked him for this afternoon. So the consolidation and dissolution of the fire districts would combine the fire district's existing tax levies into the town's tax levy. The residents would no longer pay separate fire district taxes for the consolidated services, but the town's levy would increase to fund them. Because consolidation may fold the district's existing levies into the town's levy, it may implicate a one-time increase above the 4% annual property tax levy limitation of Rhode Island General Laws 44-5-2, which the town may exceed only through the means of the laws provided. The financial terms would be set in the enabling legislation. One of the things that has changed that we all are just learning sitting up here is that we didn't understand that this would have been a two-step process. This first step is kind of just asking you guys whether or not you want us to move forward with it. The second part is going to the state legislator. I just wanted to clarify that. So that's my motion.
I'm going to
I
second.
read it for you. I wanted to be very clear. If I had line
Very
numbers,
clear,
I would have
yeah.
given you line. Yep, no worries.
So the record's clear, that paragraph added the words in the first sentence, the consolidation and the words.
dissolution.
And dissolution.
It added 4 words. Dissolution, one-time increase.
Right,
That's it.
that's exactly right.
Thank you.
There's a second to that amendment.
There is.
I seconded it, yeah.
All right, so we have an amendment and a second on the amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? All right, assuming roll call on this one, we're going to vote on the amendment itself, which as described by Councilman and Solicitor, adds the 4 words, dissolution and, what was it, one-time increase?
It was the words one time.
Yeah. And that is to version 1, bear authorization.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi,
Yes.
Councilmember Hul,
Yes.
Councilmember Ionati, Councilmember Copley,
Yes.
Vice President Brown,
Yes.
President Verducci,
Yes.
7 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
Okay, so we now have amended the question, and now we are back on the question itself as amended.
If I may, Council President, I would like to make a motion.
Hold on one sec. Did you? Oh,
No, I was seconding his amendment because I thought, I guess I have to do it, yeah. Okay, I make a motion to amend the section that is usually on the bottom. I don't know what the title is, but we need to move up to top. A vote to approve would direct the town council to pursue the fire and emergency medical services department and consolidation and to seek the necessary legislation. A vote to reject would leave the current fire district structure unchanged. I want to move that from the bottom, which is the last paragraph, after the statement of purpose, up to the top, so everyone knows exactly what they're voting for.
That's fair. I'll second that.
all right, so we have a second amendment. We're on an amendment, first and second, and this is to clarify and move the topic of the question right to the top so people don't have to wait till they get to the bottom to understand what they're looking at. We have first and second. Any discussion on the amendment? All right, hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Pasqua,
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi,
Yes.
Councilmember Hul.
Yes.
Councilmember Ionati, Councilmember Copley,
Yes.
Vice President Brown,
Yes.
President Verducci,
Yes.
7 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, motion passes.
All right, we have now 2 different amendments, and we are back on the question itself as amended.
Council President, if you would, I'd like to make a motion to put forward version 1 revised ballot question as proposed, as amended.
As amended, I have a motion, Councilman Hul,
And I am going to second that as amended.
and a second from Councilwoman Capaldi. Discussion on the question as amended?
I think it's the best, cleanest option, most direct. The verbiage is clean, clear, and precise.
All right. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi.
Yes.
Councilmember Hul.
Yes.
Councilmember Ionati. Councilmember Copley.
Yes.
Vice President Brown.
Yes.
President Vujucci.
Yes.
7 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Motion passes.
All right. We are on to new business. A reminder to the council, we're up against our 10 o'clock deadline. Does that also apply to exec session? Yeah.
I think you need a motion to extend the meeting. I would suggest
Like a-
half hour.
We do need executive session tonight.
No, yeah. He was just saying how much, yeah, half hour to start.
Extend the meeting till 10:30.
Yeah. Make
All right.
to extend the meeting to.
Yeah. Motion and a reluctant second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. We have extended our meeting, and we are, yep. Well, we got new business too. We've got council member communications. That's right. And
Is there any way we can move anything to the next meeting?
we can't move your farewell to the next meeting. Huh? Let's do the polls. All right, we are now under new matters, item 11. Section A, this is a typical request we get. This is a petition for Verizon to move one of its poles. This is over on Teakwood Drive and Watercress Court.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion? Do we have a second? We have a second. Any discussion on the utility pole? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We are on to new matters. Oh, we did new matters. Council member communications. Item 8 on your agenda. We have 2 items under here. Council member Hool.
I will be quick on these. Section A is in regards to support of Rhode Island Senate Bill 2481. This talks about and defining, because Rhode Island law does not clearly define what squatting is. And this law, Rhode Island Senate Bill 2481, it not only identifies what squatting is, but it also allows property owners and landlords remedies and timelines. Squatting is the unauthorized occupation of a property. I am a supporter in private property rights, and I think that tenants get a lot of leeway, and there's not a lot of protections for property owners. So I would ask the council to also support Senate Bill 2481. It is. We got this a little late. It also came from Little Compton, did it a little late. But I still think it's something we should move forward for January. But we got this last week and a half ago. We got this. It was after last meeting.
Can you quiet down?
Oh, it's fine. All right, settle down over there. Speaking on this one, we're not under a section where votes can be taken. How do we proceed with this one? Do we have a resolution though? No, sorry, Councilman Pasqua.
So I think it's a great idea to support this and any legislation through the State House that would give property owners some more rights in this situation, I think is great. But I think my only concern is that the session's over and if it's resubmitted next year, it's a totally different bill number. So I think maybe we're probably better off revisiting this, Councilman Hool, next session. And I would fully support this. I think it's great.
Even if they don't bring it, I mean, we could bring our own because it's a good issue and it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just was presented last week or the week before, and I thought it was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Next, I'll move over to farm stands. And truth be told, I'm not sure how to follow Miss Boyer's presentation. I'm not a farmer. I don't farm. I never have. I'm ignorant as far as the education in regards to farming. One thing I'm not ignorant to is the fact that the government needs to stop putting their hands in the fact if somebody wants to sell eggs on the side of their corner. If I want to go eat McDonald's every day and poison myself as an adult, I'm able to go and choose Miss Boyer's farm stand or Mr. Guthrie's, to make it even for you, sir, your farm stand, if you were to choose to have one, or anyone in town. I'm not asking for us to allow butchering. Like, there's regulations behind that. I'm talking about whether you want to sell flowers, if you want to sell pickles. I know Senator Raptakis, they carved out legislation carved out the ability for someone to sell pickles. That was never allowed. So I know if they can carve out the ability to sell pickles on the side of the road, we can carve out the ability, or try to carve out the ability, for farm stands that sell eggs to be left alone. We're adults. We all can choose where we want to get our food from. We all can decide whether we want to support a local farm or not, but the government doesn't belong involved in it. And if we can solidify this and get it changed, it eliminates the even thought of turning something like that into political. Whether it is or it's not, that's to be debated. But if we can solve it, then it's no longer an issue.
Yeah, so as was brought up earlier, I think we actually had one of our reps in here. Definitely a good topic to work on with our local delegation. They actually are always asking us at the beginning of session. So we should mark that down on a list. They're always saying, hey, what are your priorities this year? I think that's another good one. Yeah.
We want people to be left alone that decide to sell eggs.
Yeah. It's unfortunately some of these things we try to get ahead of so they don't turn into bigger issues. Well, we're not quite done yet. Do you want to go to executive session? All right. I'm going to need a motion.
Can I make a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Motion in a second, Madam Clerk. I think we need a roll.
Councilmember Pasqua.
Yes.
Councilmember Capaldi. Councilmember Hool. Councilmember Ionati. Councilmember Copley.
Yes.
Vice President Brown.
Yes.
President Verducci.
Yes, the town council has taken a vote to go into executive session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42465A2 for litigation matters, discussion of prospective litigation to be initiated against and by the town. We will head into executive session.